actually got on my screen beside us here. The Hangout on Air is now live. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for tuning in tonight for the technical problem broadcast, part number 3. Tonight I have the same guys as normal, plus an extra special guest. So if any of you don't know, my name is Dexter. Thank you very much for tuning in. Now, guys, if we can start with Albert, please, and we'll move along the line.
Well, you should know me by now, Albert, or I run Kick Clack Piao.
Was that the phone there?
Yeah, I'm turning it off.
Right. Could we, next person, please? Next contender? Thing is, all right, we'll go for Colin. Colin, next, please.
Anyway, it's me. I run Pump Fury. Next.
Shandy Man.
Yeah, resident mad scientist. I haven't got a page yet, but I might get around to it at some point when I stop working.
It's fantastic. I hope everyone can lip read.
Oh, Nick, can you not hear Chan?
No.
Oh,
Is that
no.
Oh. We had this problem before.
Yeah, right. Chan will probably from this point be dropping in and out so that people can't hear him, or I don't know.
Well, I can hear all of you guys.
Right. Well, in that case, before we get into this a little bit further, Nick, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah. Hi, I'm Nicky T, and I dream of playing for Pump Fury one day.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Brilliant.
One day.
That's it. One day when you put down the semi-automatic.
No, I'll play Pump anytime.
Awesome. Awesome. Right. Now that everyone has been introduced, Nick, could you possibly? This is. I know you've just introduced yourself, but
Yeah,
could you drop the call and then come back in and hopefully Chan will be able to hear you? It's just obviously if we want to have a good conversation, then we're all kind of need to make sure that we can actually hear each other.
Try and come back in.
You should, yeah. Nice one.
I could hear Nick.
Thanks for.
He couldn't hear you.
God off.
Yeah. I feel terrible having to do that. But welcome back, Nick. Thank you very much for sorting that out. Thank you for trying that. Right.
Did it work?
It worked.
Yeah, there we go. Now, hopefully,
I can hear Chan.
Can Chan hear?
Chan, but I can't hear anyone else.
Oh, no.
Oh. Right, Chan.
I can now not hear Nick.
Well, this is the technical problem
again.
Broadcast.
This is why it's called what it is.
Yes.
Oh.
I thought this was all sorted before we went live.
Yeah. We went great last week.
Yeah.
Hello.
Right. So I can hear Nick there.
So I've kicked Chan out.
No, Chan will rejoin in a second. It's so organised. This. So,
Great.
Right. Chan's not back. Let's just get going without him. Right. We seem as if we have a full house tonight. We've got a lot of people in here to listen to for some reason. So,
Ta-da!
Right. I can hear Chan.
Did it work?
I can hear him.
I can hear him.
Yes.
I can't hear him.
This will one day I will work something out that actually works properly.
Sorry, Chan.
But today is not the day.
Oh dear.
Oh God.
You couldn't write it, could you?
Nah.
Now can you hear
It
us?
was great last week.
Yeah.
No.
I don't know what happened.
Have you reached capacity with a fifth?
Yeah. No, I don't think it should be that. Yeah.
Chat was having issues last week trying to get it to work as well.
But we managed to sort it before we came online.
Yeah. Well, we live and learn.
Can you hear us now? Because it's saying I've got audio going up.
I can hear you.
I can. Can Nicky?
No. Oh, God.
And I'm not even making this up.
Oh well.
Because that would be
Right.
brilliant.
Are we going to...
Now?
Well, basically, what Nicky's
Come on
going to
now.
have to do is listen to anything Chan says with a delay of YouTube.
I've not even got the YouTube on.
Oh, that would boost the numbers a bit more.
See, I don't believe that this can be put down to me this time. This is Chan's internet.
Chan must be in KFC or something this
Yeah.
Oh,
time.
what now?
Let's see. I'll get the YouTube
No,
on
I
as
can't hear
well.
Anybody.
Right. So I just don't even know. I am lost. Anyway. So we have a couple of topics to talk about.
It's staying true to its title.
Maybe if I change the title, if I change the working name,
Right.
I am lost. Anyway.
I can
Oh, we
hear
have
most
feedback.
people.
Oh, yeah, that was right. I'll get rid of
And
YouTube.
I can't hear Nicky.
Wow. Sorry.
I'm just gonna go. I'll be back in 10 if you just sort yourselves out.
That's what you said.
Oh, not that again.
Yeah. No, that I don't think that will ever die now.
Nope.
Right. Anyway, so for all we have technical difficulties, I think we should just plow on ahead
Yeah.
and see what we can do.
Like Matthew said, he goes, Chan doesn't say much anyway, so...
Yeah, to be fair, I don't think he actually spoke last week.
Nothing.
Good
He's
job.
here for moral support.
And write things on a whiteboard.
Yeah.
Well, basically, take the mick out of me.
Well, this week, Albert, you don't look as purple as you did.
Yeah, I can do an Albert impersonation now.
Oh, Albert's got guests. Who are you bringing on the show, Albert?
My Albert impersonation.
Yeah, there we go. That's a cracking one, Colin.
Nope. Nothing.
Richie Wong says this is like watching Mick Fleetwood and Sam Fox doing the Brits.
Not that good.
I think,
Totally on the top of your head, Dex, you'll not even...
Yeah,
know
I
the
think that
hell
might
you're
be a
about.
little bit before my time.
Be like Blackadder.
Blackadder was not totally over my head. I do know what Blackadder was. I just didn't know when it started.
This again.
Right.
Just stop.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Fire away.
Right. So today, I think the first topic of today is how can we get rentals to take the next step? I think everyone has experienced rental players where they've experienced talking to people that have experienced a rental day where they have the problem of you bring paintball up and they go, that's expensive, or that hurts, or does that not hurt? And it's some of these things that I think we need to try and get over, and we need to, and also, well, yeah, like I said, I mean, isn't it expensive? How can we sort of broach it to rental players to explain to them, look, this isn't entirely what it costs. There's more to paintball. It's not as expensive as you think it is. It's kind of like going to a pub and thinking that all beer costs however much, when you can go and buy some somewhere else or for different events. What do you guys think about this?
Bit of a hard one, isn't it?
Okay.
Oh, that's it. It's not an easy topic.
I think the problem. I think we're trying to tackle 5 problems that have happened rather than tackling the first problem.
Yeah.
And the first problem, to my mind, is there's no cap on what a rental player can spend.
Mm-hmm.
In the sense of the more they pull the trigger, the more they spend. If it was a case of the more they pulled the trigger, the more fun they had, we wouldn't have problem 2, 3, and 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of people
that's very true. Yeah.
You know,
I
so
remember-
I think you've almost got to reverse engineer the fields that these players, these first-time players, experience. Because let's say, pull a number out of a hat, 50 quid is the price it costs the average player to play for the first time, and they play 5 games that equate to a tenner's worth of paint. Just for argument's sake. If that is the model, you can make that model very enjoyable.
Yeah.
The problem is some sites will play 8 fields. Other sites will play 4 fields. Other sites will play 3, etc., etc., etc. And there's such a variance in the quality of those games that you're not dealing with 10,000 kids who've gone through cycling proficiency who want to buy a bike. There's just such variation that is out of control.
I totally agree with that.
Yeah. I've never ever thought of it that way, and I think you've hit the nail on the head there. It's like,
welcome to the show, Albert.
No, I mean, I can remember my first ever punter bill being close to 140 quid.
Oh, really? See, this is a great question for everybody apart from Chan, who I can't hear. How much was your first punter bill? Because mine were like my first day as a punter. I was 12. I organised a group of 20 kids from school to come and play paintball, and I got my day for free. And I did that every 6 months, basically. So big shout out to the other 19 classmates who came and sponsored me from day one.
Yeah. You know, that's it. You've been a sponsored player right from the get-go.
Yes. But I mean, if Cole's day was 140 quid, I can believe that because you know, as a kid I used to ref at Campaign, and you'd see people drop in hundreds of pounds.
Yeah.
To be fair, most of mine was pyro.
That's not right.
Surprised in the slightest there, Colin.
I mean, it's interesting, isn't it? Because when you actually stop and think about it, a target range at a rental field is there so that people shoot paint.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
You know, and there's some really good target ranges in fairness, right? But it's a very poor representation of paintball.
Yeah.
Yes, it's fun shooting and hitting something, but there's also zero challenge if you've done it more than 10 times, right?
True, yeah. And I think if anyone that's actually done any time as a ref has seen kids, it's normally kids that go out, they get their marker, they put their hopper on, and they empty their 100 free balls down range and then go, well, I'm out of paint. And I'm really sorry, little Timmy, but you've got to go back to the safe zone. There's nothing we can do for you now.
Yeah.
Unless you go and buy more paint. So it's been unfortunate when they do that, because then that's their first experience of paintball. And
that's assuming, right, that most of these players are self-funded, have jobs, etc. You know? You're not trying to do this on a paper round. Yeah.
Albert, I think you need to move your mic away from your mouth just a little bit. We're getting where you're blowing down your mic a little bit. It doesn't have to be that. It doesn't have to be that far. Does it spring back as well?
Can't get to move away. Actually,
this is the video that just keeps giving, isn't it?
Yeah. Technical problem broadcast. What do you know?
I love it. I think
move more down a little bit.
It would be really interesting if sites got. I was at Skirmish Nottingham yesterday.
Yeah.
And they had a walk-on day, and it was really interesting. They had a walk-on day. They had rentals playing, and they had airsoft going on at the same time.
All right.
3 completely different customer groups.
Yeah.
That all had, you know, they were all their own entity. They never intermingled because there was never any need to. But if they wanted to poke their head around the corner and go, "What's that?"
Yeah,
they could, and I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I think there's a big case though for someone like the UK PSF to come in and create some structure that's missing.
I would definitely agree with that. I think that does need to be done.
You know, if they do it, I don't know. Will they do it? I'd like to think so. Will they get support? I'd really like to think so, because you know, I think we're past the era of £20 note after £20 note.
Yeah.
Well, Nick, have you seen or heard what District 23 do?
I've heard of District 23.
Right. Well,
through Mr. Bound, actually.
Yeah.
I believe it's your way, right?
Yep.
Yeah, it's not far from us lot.
Dr.
Well, it's not
Monty.
far from me, Chan, and Albert.
I've not heard what they do though. Being very honest.
Well, they are primarily a MagFed site. It is.
Right.
It's a relatively small site, but it's all CQB, so it's something that's a bit different to most normal sites.
Okay.
But they do airsoft, MagFed paintball, and also Nerf events. But when it comes to the MagFed paintball side of things, they do sort of. I don't really think calling them taster sessions would be the right thing to do, or tester sessions, whatever you prefer.
Yeah.
But I think it's for about £28. They give you your marker, your overalls, your mask. I think they give you a chest rig, and I believe it's 4 mags, and then they fill the mags up every time you go out or every time you go back in the safe zone. So you don't have to worry about the cost of the paint, really. And it seems like there's actually a lot of players are really enjoying that. Now, they're not particularly long sessions, but it's enough that people get to go out and have a run around and have some really good fun, and also get to experience paintball in quite a positive way.
Yeah. I quite like that.
It's 4 hours. Every session they do is 4 hours. It's £29, but that's it. You don't pay no more money. And I played it with some work colleagues, and I swear to God, I went through quite a bit of pain.
What's Chan trying to share?
This is the site.
I got Devil Albert.
Well, actually, Chan, I think I can. There we go. If I've done this right, there we go.
No, you've not done it right.
Oh no!
No. Chan disappeared.
Let's stop that. Stop presenting. There we go. It worked for a second.
Streamception.
Yeah. It seemed like it worked at first.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Don't do that again.
No, it was funny. Do that again. Yeah.
Just keep talking, Chan. Keep talking.
I wish you'd start talking, Chan.
I've been talking the whole video. Everybody else can hear me. The audience can hear me.
I still think Nick's not getting you.
Yes, I know.
Nothing. Nada.
Basically, he's showing you the site, Nicky.
Yeah.
That's nice. Let's see. That looks like
but it's all indoors, so obviously
that's cool though.
Where the floors all ground up car tires, so it's kind of
really
like
cars in there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. There's quite a few
I'm gonna
cars
have
in
to
there.
come and check it out.
Well, obviously, you can't hear what Chan's saying, but he's saying all the floors ground up tires, so if you fall over, you can't hurt yourself.
I'm sitting here
bounce.
talking to
That's
Nick
nice.
like I think you can hear me. Yeah.
But
who runs District 23 then? Is it Paul Strutt?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's Paul owns the site, and I'm not sure. Well, obviously he owns it, and I suppose he's primarily the one that's in charge. But then I think it's Michaela that quite often runs the site, because Paul's obviously very busy. They're starting up another site. He also travels around for go and organise different games and stuff. So I think Michaela quite often runs games there as well.
Yeah, she basically runs. Every time I've went, she's the one who's running it.
Yeah.
The boss.
Yeah.
And they've got a cafe there. You can actually have a decent cup of coffee, pizzas. They're putting on it's actually quite good. They've made like a proper little cafe.
Yeah.
Which is unusual for paintballing.
It's arguably too nice.
Yeah,
it's too nice for now. It's too nice for now. Just wait until there's like a whole loads of dirty paintballers going through it. But yeah, I mean, what I was getting at though is I really like what they're doing with the whole sort of you pay a set amount and then you get your paint supplied, and there's no I've blasted all of my paint off in one go. Now I'm screwed for the rest of the day. You go back. You get that initial sort of blast out of the way the first time they go out, and if they do want to just empty their mags, obviously if they're being mag fed, it's a little bit harder to just blast everything in one go anyway. But you can, even if they blast a mag in the first game or they blast a hopper in the first game, they then go back and they get their refills. So it's spread out.
I like that. Do you think there's? I think that sites make a mistake when, as early as the safety briefing, the majority get the safety briefing right, but then everybody's just thrown into the wild of off you go, do what you think.
Yeah.
And, you know, even it's not appropriate to kind of teach them everything. I fully get that. But even if there was just a real cool 10-minute UK PSF video, and the reason I say UK PSF, by the way, is because of structure.
Yeah.
It needs to be consistent, and I think it commands some respect for, you know, oh, wow, there is a national organisation.
Yeah.
It's not, you know, this is something that every skirmish site can use, every Delta Force site can use. Doesn't actually matter what the field is. You know, but it's just a little kind of, if you shoot out of the left-hand side, try using your left hand.
Yeah.
Type of thing. Just to kind of make the day more enjoyable and that paint more effective.
Yeah. Well, that's
be similar to be similar to the go-kart instructional videos.
Like go-kart instructional video.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. I'm guessing that if you kind of surveyed all the go-karting places, the cost for an initial session per like 20 minutes or whatever it is would be pretty even.
Yeah.
There'd
be very few places that were like 3 times the price, right? Because it's not done on fuel.
Yeah.
It's time.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. Yeah, that is probably about right. Yeah. I mean, they might fluctuate as you go up and further up and down the country because, you know, things do generally cost more when you're down south. But for the most part, as you go up, it's going to be like a steady rise as you move further up the country. And in like more popular areas, it might be more expensive because of supply and demand and things like that. But like you said, for the most part, it would be probably roughly priced similar.
You'd be getting sites to agree with it, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Well, a lot of sites that you know, punters are their bread and butter, and they want them to go there and spend hundreds of pounds on paintball.
Yeah. Well, I think when you're saying that, there is the one company in particular that always springs to mind that don't seem to particularly care about getting recurring. They're more than happy to have recurring customers in their own place, but they don't want any progression where people actually move into playing the game properly.
Well, that's a price thing. Because the last time I checked, it was something
weird
like
because I've been in the industry for 24 years. Never given a damn about that company.
Yeah.
Never stopped me doing anything I want to do. It's just, you know, it's like someone saying, well, there's a bear over there that eats people. You don't go near the bear.
Yeah, that makes sense. But the problem is it's teaching people not to go near the bear.
But everybody's trying to kill the bear.
True, yeah.
I'll
agree with you there.
Well, around and speak to the squirrel.
I love your analogy.
I'm trying to keep it family friendly.
Well, that's it. Yeah, that's the task. Like I said in the sort of the pre-chat, if there is a little bit of swearing and stuff happens, I don't think it's the end of the world.
Don't go near the bloody bear.
There we go.
The other way.
Do you not think punter hunting has a lot to do with it as well? When you get these punters that go on site and you get lads who purely just play against punters and they absolutely nail the living shit out of them. You know?
Yes.
That to me is like, if I owned a site and somebody did that, they wouldn't play at my site. And there should almost be a blacklist of paintball dickheads.
Yeah, that's
You're 100% there.
Yeah, I think site owners, if they want,
check out my Facebook page of paintball dickheads. So.
How long before I'm on it?
I'm just going to set one up now. Carry on.
And this month's dickhead of the month is.
Oh dear.
But I think that's I do agree with that. I think sites do definitely have a responsibility to make sure that the people that they're playing on their fields, if it's like they're regular players, not rental customers, obviously.
Yeah.
But they need to have, they should have a responsibility of monitoring who is sort of behaving and who isn't behaving on their fields. And they should have, a good site should have a good team of refs that keep an eye on that sort of thing. And give a player a warning if sometimes we won't get a bit trigger happy and things like that. And if somebody is consistently abusing rental customers, they're just going to be, no, look, sorry, but just don't come back. I think stuff like that, it probably needs to be a little bit more enforced. And sometimes I think sites, and now it's easy for me to say because I don't own a site, but I think sites probably sometimes will have to take the hit of saying, look, just don't come back. Would rather have customers that are happy and possibly going to come back than have somebody coming and just wiping out customers who might be in the game for... If you take the average burnout time of around about 3 years for the average player, even if they go to your site for 3 years, how many customers are they chasing off in that time?
I mean, I guess in a really kind of roundabout way, the site is almost at fault if they're not providing an environment for that player to participate in that challenges them. So, for example, if the site never did a walk-on day, I could imagine punter hunting happening. Yeah. If a site runs a walk-on day, then they've just got to, sack up and say, come on, you should be playing this. You're not playing that anymore. You're not allowed to play that anymore. Yeah. That's it. Possibly if there is a walk-on day option available, then is it worth excluding rental customer or regular customers from playing paintball on a rental day? Even unless you say you're not with your own equipment, it can work. And the reason I say that is because I think it was the Diamond Wars event in January. Yes, it was. A rental group joined Diamond Wars. Yeah, and for the first time, because it was classic rules, they could actually compete. Yeah, I remember reading about that. And what's super cool, 3 of them have come to every event. Now, you see, that's what I like to see. Yeah, it just takes them to have a good experience when they come the first time for them to go, right, that's it, I'm coming back. And I think that's basically what Albert did a little while ago with some players at District 23. Yeah, he took them down, he gave them a brilliant first experience. And they're now back going out and buying their own gear. Brilliant. That was it. He was very gentle on that first time.
Use lube.
Dial 55.
I'm sorry, but Albert has just gone mega purple.
Yes, I know. Yes. My lights gone off.
Albert, are you going to buy one of my T-shirts? And
oh, my wife thinks that's hilarious when I told her that.
I think you need a hat more than a T-shirt, first of all.
Yeah.
Hat and mask.
He was gone mega purple.
Oh dear.
Better say.
Oh, what's he doing?
Well, going back on subject, we're saying about the punt hunting and not having to walk on and all that side of things. Combat Zone at Lincoln, my local site, for a long time, there were no walk-ons because there wasn't sufficient. That's an improvement.
Yeah, there we go. Brilliant, Albert.
Got purple now.
At Combat Zone, we didn't have a walk-on for a very long time because there wasn't sufficient players around in the local area, and it wasn't well known enough. And they didn't advertise for walk-ons. Yeah. So 90% of own gunners who were playing down there were going and playing in with punters, but the ones that were doing it weren't people who would go and rinse the living daylights out of them. They'd go and get lads involved, they'd let them have a go with their guns. They'd swap guns for a game and even with some of them, and they really got them involved, and they weren't just rinsing loads of paint.
Yeah.
I then started the walk-on group on Facebook, which got all the individuals that went and played all together, and we were able to book in for one big day for all walk-ons.
Yeah.
And that was what kick-started the walk-ons again, being held monthly.
Yeah. Well, this is it. It just takes one person for actually stand up and say, look, would anybody interested in doing this? If I set something up, would people do it? And quite often, from that, things can start moving.
Yeah, I mean, we were having a case where you'd get 2 or 3 people who go down for a game. Next weekend, 2 or 3 other people who go down for a game. So you'd never get everyone together all at one point. There were still players that went back and they only went and played with punters. They didn't rinse the crap out of the players because they couldn't.
Yeah.
But that's another subject. That playing with punters was a challenge.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, mate. If sites start dishing out Emacs as rental markers, players are going to become, rental players are going to become a lot more of a serious threat on the field.
Oh yeah.
When the markers are actually shooting straight and can keep
those
up.
Emacs are brilliant, aren't they?
He doesn't mess about.
That was quick. That was bloody fast.
You may or may not be invited.
There's 2 members.
Oh
dear.
It's just me and Nikki. That's it.
Oh dear.
The problem one of the local sites that I go to has is the members they have a lot of in the region of nearly 200, and they will not play against other own gunners. They will only play against rentals.
You see,
they've had to change the name to, instead of walk on, to Members Day to try and get them to play against people with their own guns.
You see, now I think with situations like that, there needs to if there's players that purposefully go out and do that, then I think if they won't, because obviously sites don't want to lose them as customers, but also need to have the issue of if they are abusing rental customers, then they need to be banned. If they're not abusing rental players, then I think if you know that that's happening, there needs to be players that will go out and hunt them. I'm sorry, but I think that may be the only thing that can be done is go out and specifically go on the other side and try and shoot those regular players out. Leave the rental customers alone, but just go after the regular players and try and look. We're not going to let you just do this to the rental customers. We're not just going to let you hunt them. Go play the walk-on day and try and encourage them that way, maybe.
It's like walk-ons that they've tried now for a good 7-8 months, and each walk-on's been cancelled. But then the next week, there's 5, 6, 7, 8 members playing with rentals. And what they've had to do is they've had to change the name and call it a Members Day because they don't want to go on a walk-on because they know that they're going to be going up against people with their own guns.
What do the members shoot then? Presumably a mixture of
mag-fed and Tony guns.
Wow. I think can I be a member for a day?
But that's exactly it. It's like, is that what it would take? Is it a case of
putting a dickhead hit squad?
It sounds like a chant.
Just going to tour the country, protecting the rentals.
So he's going to start a dickhead hit squad. Tour the country, just shooting punter hunters.
Yeah, that's the way it's sounding. I don't know. It's some of these issues. This is what I wanted to do with this. I wanted to try and be able to get people together and sit and talk this through and try and come up with different ideas. And I like the idea of trying to, and I mean, I'm massively guilty of it, but I like the idea of supporting the UK PSF because I feel like having a governing body for UK paintball is massively important, and I'm also massively guilty of failing to support it myself. I used to be a member.
Did you know that they're doing something at Paintfest?
No, I didn't.
Prior to Paintfest.
No, I wasn't aware of that.
Right, they are. I'll try and find the official information. But on the Thursday of Paintfest, I believe they are holding an AGM at National Paintball Fields, Birmingham, Jed's place.
All right.
And then I believe that there's going to be. So that's, let's say the bulk of the day. But then there is a section for non-members to come and interact, ask questions, etc.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can find out. Yeah, AG Thursday, the 25th of July.
Yeah.
Annual AGM, and they'll also be offering an hour Q&A session between 3 and 4 p.m. Which will be open to general questions from members. But for the first time, we are inviting non-members to ask us any questions or queries which they might have in regards to the UK PSF or paintball.
Right.
Nice.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was posted. What's equally interesting is that was posted on the UK PSF Facebook page on the 25th of April, and none of you guys knew about it. It just goes to show the hurdles they've got to overcome.
Yeah.
Well, this is it. I mean, if you go back in over the past few years, obviously there was the UK PSF were reasonably big that had a represent. I can hear you, Chan.
All right, I was just checking.
I'm not ignoring you on purpose, Chan.
Oh, can you actually hear each other now?
No.
Oh.
No, but I just don't want him to get a complex.
Right.
Got one of them.
Yeah. So yeah, the UK PSF did used to be, reasonably big. I mean, they had, they're still kind of big, but they had people at different events. There was UK PSF trade stands and stuff out, display stands, whatever you like to call them. There was banners up at games. There was a lot of people who were supporting it, and they were really pushing for it for a while.
There was a lot of prestige to being a member.
Yeah,
that's it. I think you had to be a member. If I remember rightly, 96, 97, I was probably playing something called the Home Counties League.
Yeah.
Was 10-man regional, in the south type of series. But each county had its own division, and then you play like a national championships type of deal.
Yeah.
Every single player on every single team was a UK PSF member. And nobody grumbled.
Yeah.
It was just the norm.
And I think that needs to be brought back, but it's
definitely.
How can we go about bringing that back? I think that there needs to be some kind of big push for it, but I don't know how the best to go about that is, which is why I want to have a conversation with you guys.
Do like a UK PSF video that they show at every site that new rental players play.
Yeah, well, Nick, the site that we talked about earlier on, the company that we talked about earlier on, they're effectively the Bear. Do you know that that's basically what they do? Every single player that comes through their doors, when they sign their waiver, they sign up to the UK PBA, which then they use that as evidence of them having the biggest paintball company or the biggest paintball league or something like that. I can't remember what the exact word is, but the biggest paintball association in the country or the world or whatever, because every single person that comes to the door is a member. So it's like I'll be a member from back when I played there when I was like 16 or something.
Wow.
So
I mean, it was only 3 years ago, Jack.
He wishes.
Yeah. I wish it was a little bit closer than it is.
Then that is still only a baby. And we Dexter.
When I was 16, it was like 14 years ago now. It's sharp flying by.
Nick is just trying to work out. He's like, I've been playing paintball 5 years less than they've been alive.
I mean, we've got a bigger problem. there's a rival paintball dickheads group.
Oh.
Oh,
no.
I just got an invite, and I thought, whoa.
Yeah, I think that's the one Ben's made, isn't it? Yeah.
You know what it is? I am going to be. I wouldn't be surprised if I am actually the first person that gets posted up on that. I think there's a certain prestige to once you start getting posted around on pages like that, and people start taking the mick out of you.
Yeah.
Gassie's put on here. He's going to sort out Mr. T his own jersey, the punting hunter.
The punter hunters. I quite like that. Yeah.
I tickled the bear. I wanted to say.
Gassie's actually saying nobody recognises the bear as that. Even the Sports Council saw straight through it, and I think that's reasonably fair, because if they did see it as being legitimate, they would have been classified as a registered sport by now. But obviously, if the Sports Council have seen straight through it, it's good, because I think it's just a sly way of trying to get around the whole sports recognition thing. And I don't want paintball to get in like sports recognition through dirty, underhanded tactics. I want everything that we achieve as a community to be legit.
Question for you.
Yeah.
Why does the sports recognition thing matter?
Would it not? If it's far-fetched.
I get that it's a bit of a kind of pat on the back for everybody who's involved. Some legitimizes why we spend our weekends away from family, friends, work.
Yeah.
Why we've all got credit card bills, etc. Yeah. But fact of the matter, if we suddenly become a sport, changes nothing for me personally.
True. I think for the individual player, it would mean nothing. But
possibly for very blunt, right? Football's a sport. Doesn't make me want to play it anymore.
True. I don't think it's so much the making people want to play it. I think it's more for the fact it's legitimacy. If something happens within, if somebody kicks a football through a window, the police don't go, "Oh, it was just some nutter." They'll go, "Oh, it was some kid playing football."
Could have been a nutter.
It could have been a nutter, but it's like if somebody attacks somebody with a baseball bat, they don't blame all of baseball. They blame the nutter with the baseball bat. If somebody shoots somebody,
still a sport though, right?
Pardon?
Baseball's still a sport.
But that's my point. It's deemed not representative of all paintball because baseball, because baseball is considered to be a sport. Yeah. If baseball wasn't considered a sport, and let's say they just used a club or something, then it would possibly be more. This is representative of all people that run around with clubs. But a baseball bat is effectively just a fancy club.
Yeah, it turns that nasty person with that pretend gun into a guy carrying some sports equipment.
Yeah, and if you walk into an airport and you can go, I play a recognized sport, instead of just going, I'm carrying a paintball gun.
Yeah,
I think that's less likelihood of you actually being
I think we've got such a battle on our hands in the sense of our gun culture in the UK will never make paintball acceptable.
Yeah,
whether we like it or not. It's when I got my first shotgun, my family almost disowned me. They're like, "Why do you want a gun?"
Yeah, guns are for bad people and bank robbers.
Plays, and it's really hard if you don't have a shotgun. That's the reality. That's why I got one. I want to play paintball, and that's really hard if you don't have a paintball gun. That's why I've got one of those.
Yeah,
more than one of those.
I've got quite a few of them.
Yeah. It's one of these things where I look at, we have a finite amount of time to make a change. Regardless of who you are, regardless of how much money you are, what car you drive, what gun you shoot, what paint you use, whatever, right?
Yeah.
You can only do so much.
Yes.
So where am I going to put my efforts? And none of it is going into making paintball a sport. I'll tell you that.
I think the fact that if you're working towards improving paintball, people that are interested in, dedicated towards making it a legitimate sport, they can possibly ride off the back of the people that just want to make it a good experience and try and, if you can work together without actually having to work together in a way.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I see so many people play paintball badly. Know that I can help them, or people like me can help them to have more fun.
Yeah.
I just want to know what you commanded then. Was it an animal?
It was my dog.
So
the dog sometimes just wanders in to see us.
That was like a
no. It was the missus.
And I think it shocks me that people still have fun playing paintball badly.
Yes.
And I just want to kind of go, whoa, stop. Just do this. Make this little change. And you shoot more people. Probably going to have a lot more fun because you live longer, as in you're not getting shot.
Yeah.
It changes the whole dynamic.
Yeah.
Of, I went and played paintball yesterday.
Yeah.
And it was, one of the things that I was fortunate enough to experience the first time round was literally the experience. Everybody participated. Everybody had a story. Everybody contributed to the madness that was paintball in the 90s.
Yes.
And then 2000s. And then 2010, you kind of flicked a switch of, start going to the gym. Before that, I just knew a guy called Jim.
Yeah.
It was, nobody in the 90s went to the gym.
Yeah.
I do, because there's a pub near our place called the Gym.
They all everybody went to the bar.
Yeah.
But we, off the back of that, we have stories that we still talk about to this day.
Yeah. Yeah.
Literally to this day. Well,
that's it. It's when I talk about paintball to people, and I suppose airsoft does have similar stories, but it's everybody that goes and plays.
Have you played airsoft?
Swearing again.
I played it once, and it
What's
wasn't
your best airsoft story versus my best paintball story? Let's go.
Well, no, that like I said, I've only ever played airsoft once. I didn't. It was
on your way out of this.
You're trying to claim you're not gay because you've only done it once.
Yes, I am, John. Basically,
Day still. I just need to take a picture for paintball dickheads.
Actually,
Dexter, just go and take a screen capture later.
Dexter, I've actually noticed your dickhead of the month.
You see, I told you.
Oh,
sorry, dickhead of the week.
Has he already got awards?
Dickhead of the week.
Oh, that photo as well. That photo, come on.
Well, I couldn't choose any other photo.
Chan, you're going up next, and you're getting the one with the sausage.
Oh, I did put the whole photo.
Different group.
All of them.
Yeah.
This is your chance, Dave. Get out of this with the next topic. Let's go.
I was just going to say, it's like with paintball, everybody can go and you can all play the same game and all come away with different stories. It's amazing that you can do all this. It doesn't matter how old you are, it doesn't matter what race you are, it doesn't matter your sex, your gender, it doesn't matter, even disability doesn't matter to quite a big extent. All of these factors don't matter when you put your mask on and you pick up a gun and you go out and play. I mean, there's you see the videos of disabled players that live in Legends where they're going out in the little track wheelchairs and they can't even lift a gun, but they've got one mounted on the chair beside them, and they're still playing. You've got players where there's videos of players that have no legs that get out and play. Nothing matters as long as you can fire a marker, and you can have great stories. You can get right in there. You can do all these different things. and it's an amazing community that we are actually part of because of stuff like that.
Question for you. If there are 100 stories that are equally as entertaining,
yeah,
how many happen on field? How many happen off field?
Yeah,
That's definitely like 90%, 10%.
As in,
10%
biggest
being on
part
field.
of the adventure has always been the journey, not the destination.
Yeah.
And I think that's actually a really big piece of the jigsaw that's missing.
Yeah.
Because, you know, you go to a CPPS event.
Yeah.
And yes, the quality of paintball that's being played is the best in the country.
Yeah.
But you wait for, you know, the awards at the end of the day. 3/4 of the teams have left.
Yeah.
In the old days, everybody was there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Always. You know, and the format was no different. Everybody played all day. But now I think life is just so hectic and everyone's in a rush for everything. And everyone is impatient as heck because, you know, it's like, oh, go all the time, 24/7. People have actually forgotten how to be sociable.
Yes.
It's not just a CPS, it's happening at scenario games as well. I've noticed the people actually stay back to actually find out is really dwindling to, you know, very few people actually stop and even just to think, you know, at the end when they, thank you for the marshals. And half the crowd is gone.
Yeah.
It's such a shame, isn't it? And I don't know how we fix that. But, you know, other than, I mean, I've seen people try and fix it by, we'll do a giveaway right at the end and you've got to be there to win, etc.
Yeah.
But people should want to stay.
Yeah, if you're just doing giveaways, it's almost like you're bribing them for to stay.
100%. Yeah.
And you want them to be there because they want to be there, not because it's like, oh, I might get something.
I have the opposite problem. I'm too sociable. I end up being kicked out of sight because the owners want to leave.
That's a good thing, though.
That's happening more and more to me.
Like your birthday, Colin, where we got forcibly removed because the people wanted to go home.
That was it. Yeah.
We're all still chatting. It's like, you've got to leave. We need to lock up. We want to go home.
Yep. Yeah. Did get home a bit later than I expected to that night.
I get home a lot later than I normally expect to every night.
Yeah, and Colin, you team, like, it doesn't matter what site we go to, you always live like an hour away at the most.
And I'm usually probably one of the last home.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure after the speed weekend, you got in after us.
Not far off.
Oh dear. Right. So, are you happy to leave that subject there for now? Or is there anything else anybody would like to add to the sort of how to get rentals to take the next step?
I think that's a good start for a Monday evening.
Right. Well, in that case, we'll move on to the second one. Very similar sort of topic, but how do we get people to come back if they've drifted away? How do we get players to, just come back to the sport?
How did you get me back?
How many do you want to come back?
Are you meaning a lot of players that are moving over to Airsoft?
Well, there is that as well, yes.
Yeah. I mean, prime example for me, my local site, we struggle to get 15, 20 people for a walk-on. This last weekend on Sunday, they had 140 plus airsofters on site.
That's just ridiculous.
And they can't make that much money off the airsofters. Correct me if I'm wrong.
They get a set fee per player.
Yeah, and then that's it, right? Because
but they don't have to do anything to make that money.
Correct. Yeah.
Whereas a walk-on, they get the fee from that. They have to cover the cost of paint. They have to cover the cost of opening up, cover the marshals, the In Combat Zone's case, they cover the cost of food.
Yeah.
It's.
Do you think there's too many walk-ons, as in everyone's getting a diluted response to what they're offering?
I think that's the single biggest problem for Combat Zone in particular, because every time there's been a walk-on, just lately, it's been Speed Weekend. It was same weekend as Skirmish Nottingham, which is now the same weekend as North versus South.
Right.
They've not looked at the calendar of what else is going on at that time.
Yeah. I think it's
right, we're going to do it this weekend of the every month, regardless, and then you get to the event and there's a big game on, there's a tourney on,
How many sites do you think there are that run regular walk-ons? There's Combat Zone, Skirmish Nottingham, there's PPK, there's
District 23 do relatively regular games.
Okay, walk-ons.
Once a month.
Walk-ons. Yep.
They do two. They do a open class walk-on, and they do a Magfed only walk-on once a month.
Okay.
You got YPC. They do one a month.
Yeah, which is split into two halves as well.
MPF, yeah. So that's 6 straight away. Yeah.
Mayhem. Do they do a monthly walk-on?
Mayhem.
Yes. Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
There's a couple of smaller sites as well. Since I've started doing the shout-outs on a Wednesday night, I'm noticing that I'm getting more and more sites that are sort of like PPK. I mean, just PPK just appeared out of nowhere. I'd never even heard of Paintball Park Kidderminster, and then all of a sudden, in the past 6 months or something, they've just popped up and they're like going from strength to strength.
I think they had a year of revamping, rebuilding, keeping under the radar until they were ready.
But even before that, I've never even heard of them.
Oh, they used to. I know people who used to run it 20 years ago.
Yeah.
So it's
always been
there.
Yeah. I know they've said that they've been around for a long time, but I've never even heard of them. And for a site that's running a very, very successful walk-on, in fact, they're doing that well. They're actually having to run 2 walk-ons. Like 2 walk-ons a month.
They do a big one every month, and then they do what they call a mini walk-on, which probably equates to most other sites' main walk-on.
Main walk-on, yeah.
I was just thinking, is there a potential? Let's say you've got, YPC, MPF, Skirmish Nottingham, and Combat Zone, all run walk-on days. I've taken District 23 out of the equation because of the MagFed tendency. I've taken Mayhem out of the equation because of the distance. Let's say all of those sites had a walk-on team. Group, 25 players, for argument's sake,
Okay.
And then every 4th month there would be an event at that site, and the other 3 teams would go and compete. So every walk-on day had 100 players, and was, it wasn't competing with anyone else. It was one weekend a month. They ran one every 4 months so that they can, they do the walk-ons regularly. My perception is, at least, because they're trying to appease their customer base. But if they don't do the walk-ons, go elsewhere. If you could formalize that a little bit by saying, we're actually going to do a walk-on series and we'd like you to represent Skirmish Nottingham, PPK, whoever, does that take players who would drift and give them that community that they may be missing?
Possibly, but I fear that the problem with that would be that players don't like to travel. However, I do like the idea of there being like a series, and it's kind of reminiscent of the Super 6 series from around about 2011, 2012.
Yeah, which I think you guys spoke about either last week or the week before.
Now, if you were to do something like that, I think there is definitely the potential for a lot of sites to sort of work together for that, and that could be very successful. And depending on what players were like, I suppose they could have factions, have the different sites,
Faction it up. I mean, you could have, PPK Panthers, Skirmish Snake, whatever, couldn't you? It could just be.
And that's it. And it's if you did have a team that turned, or a site that turned up, and they literally only had one player turned up for the event, if you're running it with factions, you could have them go, right, if you wanted to team up and have like faction alliances and stuff, set yourselves away. If you want to go out and literally be one player who goes out there and tries to take scalps by himself, go and do it. No, that's the thing, Chan. You're laughing, but would that work?
I think the alliance thing would be good, and then change your mind on field. As in shooting people in the back.
Well, Chan, YPC did that probably in around about 2009, I think it was. It was around one of the Christmas games. And I think they had about 8 teams on the field. And there was the team that I was with did turn on the team that they were allied with partway through the game. And just mullered them in the back, effectively.
Does anybody here play at YPC regularly?
Yes.
No.
Not really regular, but...
Not regular, but I have played.
Yeah, I've played there as well, but not for a number of years. But one of the things that Andy does at YPC is he does his own thing.
Yeah,
and he doesn't actually care about any, conforming to the norm. But he has a lot of actually very good ideas.
Yeah, well,
that never get the traction they deserve because he doesn't conform.
Yeah. I think the last time I played there was this chocolate factory.
I think the last time I played there was probably
that chocolate factory.
2 months ago, last time I played, I actually took Richie Brown down with us. It was the first time he'd ever played.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
They still have the big bridge?
Oh, yeah.
Fantastic.
A funny story about that. I didn't realise they have the 1989 club.
Yes.
I was playing normal paintball. I didn't realise that they'd set up their game alongside the bridge. And I was like, this is like shooting fish in a barrel. I'm on top of the bridge, shooting. They're not even hiding. Why are they hiding the wrong side of the barrels? And when the marshal came over, you do know you're shooting the 1989 club. I was like, oh, sorry. I must have shot out 20, 30 people. I was like, it's the most I've ever shot in one game. This is brilliant. They're not even hiding. I was like, what? If the marshal actually came up and shook my hand, actually.
Oh, dear.
Yeah.
It's the only way Albert can get a kill these days.
Oi.
Until the Grand Central Classic, Albert, don't you worry.
With his legendary team.
The Grand Central Classic's actually been held in the woods, isn't it?
Partially. One woods field, one concept field.
Right.
And the concept field comprises of 1/3 mounds.
Yeah.
1/3 hyperball-ish.
Oh.
And then 1/3 arena ball-ish.
Cool.
All right. You had me at the hyperball.
So there will be a 10-man hyperball event.
Brilliant.
At Skirmish Nottingham on the 27th of October.
Oh, I'll have to see Richie about that one. I know for a fact Richie will want to play that.
Yeah, and I believe the field will be unveiled on the Saturday of Superheroes versus Villains.
Oh, sweet.
Hey.
So,
P.S. Join the evil team. Join the villains.
Yeah, Colony, you're gonna go as Guru.
Guru?
Yeah, Guru or whatever it's called. Gru.
Be Kingpin again or
Gru.
It's gonna be Gru.
It's gonna be Gru. I will wear a minion outfit if you go as Gru.
If you go as Gru, and if I can make it, I will have a minion.
You have to go as Gru's brother.
Oh God!
We gave him a wig.
Okay. That wasn't a no.
Yeah, I probably could as well.
I'll definitely wear a minion outfit.
I think I'd rather be a minion.
I'm small enough for a minion.
See,
Chan can go as Agnes.
I just want to dress as I think it's Bob. That has just like wears the little red bikini thing.
No.
No, it's
No.
King Bob. It's King Bob.
Yes, King Bob. And right, I think we've drifted off a little bit.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm looking where we were.
Well, I'm looking forward to playing that mound field for deafness, because there's been nothing like that in this country. I've seen loads of it on the internet of them playing in America, so I am really looking forward to that.
It's weird, isn't it? Have any of you ever played at Congleton? Do you remember the Edge events site?
No.
It's a site, Congleton near Manchester, that the kids used to probably 15 years ago.
Yeah.
And then they sold it to a couple. But they've had a mound field there probably for 20 years.
Seriously, I honestly didn't think there was one in the country.
Yeah, and then at the beginning of this year, Jed bulldozed the trench field that they had at MPF,
right,
and built mounds. And one of the videos that they showed on the MPF page, that with the mount, it was a drone footage, with mounds that had grass on. That is the rental mound field that they're playing on Sunday, this coming Sunday, as a one-off mound field day.
Yeah.
Just so that people get what's going on.
To see what Gassy said. Colin and Albert, Dr. Evil and Mini-Me.
What? Colin and Albert, Dr. Evil and Mini-Me. Oh, no.
Yeah, I can see that.
I mean, what that's saying to me is an outfit change on Saturday night is required.
Yeah. At the minute, there's potential for quite a lot of outfit changes.
What I'm worried about is how come my hands are white but my face is purple.
It's just one of life's mysteries there, Albert.
Oh dear.
Yeah, I think the mound field's going to be insane.
Yeah, I've tried playing sort of games a bit like that, like the BZ, what's now BZ, not Yarm, Belsay. They had a field that is a bit like that, and it was always a little bit awkward trying to get like up and down, because in paintball we're so used with sort of popping out the side of bunkers, going over the top feels a little bit strange.
Yeah.
So that always feels a little bit strange to me, playing game zones like that. But I've never played something on the size of what it appears that NPF has. So I don't know what that would be like.
It's going to be super interesting. I think on the Friday of Paint Fest, they might let some of the Paint Fest players play the concept field. And just kind of get it out there, see what people make of it. So, yeah, it's gonna be really interesting. Really interesting.
I'm really looking forward to it.
You're all going to die down here.
What?
Ooh.
What the hell?
I think I'm just getting a text.
Jan, if that was you, I heard that.
No, that was Dexter.
Yes, that was the red.
Resident
the Red Queen. Yeah, you're all going to die down here.
If it was Chan, you'd hear the Power Rangers.
Yeah.
In terms of paintball videos, what's the best one you've ever watched?
250 cal.
Yeah, that was brilliant. It was a bit disappointing that it wasn't real. Yeah.
250 cal.
Stick to Drums professional video.
Stick Drums professional.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a great video of that. For me, it's not particularly one video; it's an entire series, and it was the Unknown Soldier series.
Okay, yeah, that was good.
Mm-hmm. That to me was just brilliant. The fact of basically they only had 3 guys that played regularly together, who then went on to create a team and go and play the NPPL.
Yep, it was.
They did brilliant, and then I still can't get over the fact that they just disappeared.
I quite like the parkour video that Gorilla Air did
with Dynasty.
With Dynasty, that was quite cool.
Oh yeah, I know the one you mean. That was at Hollywood Sports Park.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know the one you mean.
Yeah. Albert, any thoughts?
I'm just trying to remember the name of the film. I don't want to say it and get it wrong.
Right.
You didn't hear that, did you?
No.
I'm trying to find a paintball name of the film, and my wife just went, "What? Debbie Does Dallas."
Well.
I never realised there was paintball in that, Albert.
I could be getting the name here wrong. I tried Google, I can't find it. There was a paintball film called Push.
That's right.
Yes.
Push.
That's a good one.
Yeah, that's and it was also Every Given Sunday, or is that a different?
Yeah. I recognise the name.
Something on that. I think it was
Any Given Sunday.
Was that a paintball film as well? Yeah,
I believe so.
Yes.
I think that was a monkey with a gun. Slash the type of production.
Yeah.
Someone will correct us in the chat, I'm sure.
Yeah. I used to quite like watching the Dirt Short Bus as well.
Top Martinez is fantastic in that.
Yeah. They used to be great to watch.
Yeah.
So Nick, you've asked the question. We've answered. So what about you?
Well, I'm the reason I asked the question because I'm doing an event video for the Grand Central Classic.
Yeah.
And
I hope the camera's insured.
I'm pleased that Albert's push. So because my working title for this is going to be Shove.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
Literally because I want it to shove paintball back to where it should be.
Yes. Yeah.
It's all about the storytelling. It's all about that camaraderie, the craziness, the journeys, the randomness that happens outside of the field that literally has created friendships that for me have lasted decades.
Yeah. The randomness that happens on the field as well.
On the field is pretty good. Yeah.
The randomness of Dex doing the tactical seagull.
Or it's things like, you're right, the randomness that happens on the field is good as well, There's the number of times you have to scrounge around to find a twig to act as a cocker bolt pin and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's all of that craziness.
Yep. And we now have a minion.
If the BZ Grizzlies win a game, you'll definitely see craziness because I will go like we've won the entire event.
Well, I think it's too good an opportunity to miss. With the Nam Wrecking Crew are coming back, and that's a piece of paintball history. The Preds are back. The Turks are back.
Yeah,
fighting to get the Banzais back, but Leds is being a stick in the mud.
Yeah, well, Leds has got the sandbaggers now, hasn't he? So,
don't care.
No, but that's it. I mean, he's got the sandbaggers, but it would be nice to see the original teams come back.
There's enough players to get both of them.
Yeah.
And I think this format, this event, has the opportunity to prove what a missed opportunity it was for not getting the Banzais back. And that's what I want to do. And going forward, there's going to be more of them.
Yeah.
And it should be the type of thing that the Grizzlies have so much fun at Grand Central. They turn around and go, yeah, we'd love to play again.
I've just seen what Craig said, what Gassy said in the chat. Colin became my third child through paintball.
Yeah. And
He was one of my best men at my wedding.
Yeah, just one of them.
Yeah, I had 3.
Get 3 bet. How indecisive are you?
I was greedy. I had 3 best men, and my wife had 1 bridesmaid.
Could Gassy not have been a nice bridesmaid?
I was just thinking that. Yeah, Gassy would have been a lovely bridesmaid.
I reckon he could have had a nice floral dress or something.
There's always superheroes.
True. That's it. Can we get Gassy dressed up as Power Girl?
Wonder Woman.
Yeah, Wonder Woman will do. Yeah.
I was thinking more like Blunder Woman.
He's got to be a villain. He's got to be a villain.
Oh, is Gassy playing on the villains this year?
Well, since Power Girl and no, is there anything that makes Wonder Woman bad?
I like how Blunder Woman's went right over the top of all their heads. There was only Nikki left.
Yeah, no, I remember.
Yeah, they're too young.
I feel like Blunder Woman was probably something out of Viz.
No.
Oh, I'm impressed that you mentioned Viz. I've got to admit.
Yeah, Viz was awesome.
Viz is awesome.
Try Russ Abbott's Madhouse.
Oh.
Yeah, it's still good.
It was Blunder Woman and Fat Man, wasn't there?
Yeah.
Was Fat Man? Yes, it was Fat Man.
I do remember Fat Man. I remember Blunder Woman.
Russ Abbott used to dress up as a Batman character, didn't he? It was Blunder Woman.
Oh no, that'd be scary. Gassy as Harley Quinn.
It depends on which Harley Quinn. If we're talking Harley Quinn from the new Suicide Squad film, that is terrifying. Harley Quinn in a jester costume could be hilarious.
One of the sad lads, Liam, dressed as Harley Quinn last year.
There was a lad dressed as Harley Quinn last year.
Yeah, that was it, and he did brilliantly.
Yeah.
Oh,
he did.
Disturbing. It was disturbing.
I don't think I'd be mad in my suit.
It was Cooper Man and Blunder Woman.
Cooper Man, that's right. There we go. Talking about superheroes, the actual game for a second. What makes that? As in
the atmosphere.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I think the thing that makes it so good for me is because it's a charity game.
Yeah.
It sort of everyone relaxes. We're all dying again.
Okay.
Yeah, it relaxes. Everyone knows it's just for fun and everything. You don't get anyone taking it too serious.
So you think that changes the tone of the game?
Yeah, genuinely, I think it does.
That's a really interesting insight because I'd never thought about it that way before.
One of the best games I ever played was at Yarm, and that was when the Scottish Warriors did a charity game.
The Raiders charity game was incredible.
Yeah, that was brilliant.
Yeah.
Oh, why don't we get that back?
That's what I would like to encourage. Because I think there's a lot of people are getting
a charity game. Just kind of if there was like this year, this is what paintball's going to do for the community, for argument's sake. Then why can't we take that mentality through into the majority of social paintball events?
Yeah.
Colin, am I right with the Raiders game? Wasn't it they knocked something off the green fee if you came in fancy dress? Half price or something, the green fee, or was it free? Something like that, wasn't it?
I think there was a discount for fancy dress, or you got something, you got paint cheaper or something like that.
And there was also a competition. They also had a competition for the best fancy dress as well, wasn't there? Yeah. Because there was that guy with the original Stormtrooper outfit won. Fancy original Stormtrooper, and he was playing paintball in it.
Well, it's all right. You wouldn't hit anyone.
I was gutted because I thought I won it with a flashing granny, and then he turned up in the Stormtrooper outfit. I was like,
"You're all going to die."
Stop it! That's
being threatened.
That ringtone's great until you're sitting in the doctor's surgery.
Saturday A&E. Oh dear.
What are you doing, Dex?
Just pounding the puppy.
You pound away, Dex.
Pop Fury!
Come on, up. There you go. Come on, up. He's just stand staring at us.
There isn't
For
actually
anybody
a dog
tuning
there.
in for the first time, this is Dex trying to prove that there is a puppy.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've never seen
There
it
isn't
yet.
actually a puppy at
I've
all.
never seen the dog. Never heard that dog bark. No.
He doesn't really bark.
Yeah, yo, how convenient.
He's imaginary.
Yeah, exactly.
He's determined to get the dog on the screen now. Look at his face. He's saying, what can I do?
I don't really want to move my camera either because the room's a bit of a mess, and I don't want people to think that I live like a slob. So,
What do you mean think? We know you.
Beat me to it there, Con.
hey, there is photos of my house on the internet at the moment because it's up for sale, and it shows that my house is reasonably tidy.
Oh, so it's not how clean as your home?
No, it's not. No,
Ryan there, Dex.
Stop it. Spit it out.
Is the dog making a milkshake or something?
That's nothing to do with me now. I could still see the thing saying that there was there was audio coming through, but sorry, I couldn't see the thing saying the audio coming through, but I could hear it. Is that from my house?
I think somebody else may be passing the pooch, Dex.
What are you actually doing?
Not
Sean?
me. Nothing to do with me.
All right, it's coming through here. That's all. My wife's making gravy.
Is she touching Dex's pooch?
So was I.
Quite a vigorous wrist into the side.
Really saying about the randomness that happens off.
Who makes gravy at 10 to 10, Albert? What's going
Dinner
on?
time. Jump on.
You make that Sarah.
Look, come here. Done.
Oh, yeah.
You've got a great future as a mime artist.
Ah, you little shit! Ah!
Where you get the lecture about swearing?
It wasn't a lecture.
Oh.
I like how you're keeping the dog thing going. This is great. There's no dog.
Well, I'm not finished yet, so I've got to keep it going.
Oh dear.
Yeah, that funny noise wasn't Dexter. Yeah, it was.
He's actually drawn blood. Oh, shit.
I dread to think.
Quick, someone reported me self-harm.
Snapped
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, there is a gravy incident in the lab.
Dex is now self-harming to prove that he's got a dog that doesn't exist.
It is actually a Labrador.
So when he's put the comment saying making gravy, I thought someone was packing the monkey.
Well, making baby gravy.
Oh god!
You might be more. Yeah, I'm going even more purple now.
Oh dear! Right, back on subject. Back on subject.
What were you on about?
Right. Do you think? You don't lick that.
Why?
He's trying to lick where he couldn't, where he scratched his. You see what you've done?
It's not really a
Come
dog.
on. I think Albert's going to pass out if he gets any more.
Albert's going Super Saiyan purple.
Come here. Come here, you little shit. Just be on camera for a second. Come on.
Oh dear!
Okay. Just don't then. Just show us up on my screen. Right. So, do you think mechanical will help draw players back in?
Oh dear!
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think for a number of reasons, I think the cost of entry in the sense of you can get an EMEC for 200 quid.
Yeah.
And compete.
Do you know that
you can also grab your mechanical gun.
Yeah.
If we're talking about players coming back, most of them have tons of gear laying around.
Yeah.
That has nostalgia attached to it, so they never wanted to sell it.
Yeah.
the EMEC, do you not think it shoots and feels like a hell of a lot more expensive a gun than £200?
Definitely.
Yeah.
For sure.
Basically a CS2 and a plastic.
It's probably the best £200 you can spend in paintball.
Without a doubt.
Yeah. That's it. I mean, I cannot believe it performs and feels the way it does for how much it costs. It's a high end gun in a low end
plastic
package,
body.
basically. Yeah,
just a decent barrel on it, and you laugh.
Yeah. But that's the thing, Albert. I mean, obviously, I used it at speed, and it shot brilliantly, even with the stock barrel. Now, of course, that I probably had a good paintball match on the day, but yeah, even with the stock barrel, which is something like maybe it's a 10-inch barrel, it performed brilliantly. I did eventually change to my own barrel kit, but it still shot brilliantly even without that.
Just going off the internet reviews and all that, that's what most people's only gripe is, the barrel.
Yeah.
But you can't stick a £100 barrel on a gun that's intended to be sold to sites as a punter gun.
Oh, definitely.
I mean, do you think it was intended for sites? First question.
Speaking to Eclipse at North v South last year, before it would come out, that was what they told me their main target audience was with it.
BZ had one as a side gun for nearly a year before release.
Yeah, I mean, I don't doubt that they'll be used on sites, but I don't think 200 quid is your price for hitting a site.
Yeah, generally not. You're probably going to be spending £100 on it. Previously, sites were spent £100 on like an Inferno or a 98.
What was an Inferno back in the day? I've got in my head some ballpark 75 quid ish.
Yeah, that's very likely. Yeah, because obviously the FT12? They're all about £70. Yeah. That's mainly that's the sight guns that BZ used. It's the
You see, Combat Zone use FT12s as their main guns, and they've now got about 12 or 15 EMECs as upgrades.
Oh, that's to my mind, that's perfect because obviously the trade price isn't going to be the 200 quid retail price. So even if those upgrades go out tenner a day, they're going to pay for themselves in 6 months.
Yeah,
and at least it's an upgrade where it's a better gun. Where a lot of sites, it is just a 98 with a body kit on it.
It's a visual upgrade, not a performance upgrade.
Yeah, I agree.
But yeah, when I spoke to Planet Eclipse at North v South, not previous year, that was what they told me. Their primary target audience for it was rental use.
Yeah,
interesting. I mean, I think it's a great gun. I mean, I've shot the one that I had. I'm gonna, I think it's worthwhile trying to capture some statistics from Grand Central of of the 21 teams. These are the guns that we used.
Well, you see, I would hazard a guess that they just from using the marker and playing with it, looking at it, all that sort of stuff. Also, seeing the EMEC that Chan has now versus the original versus the new EMEC. It's looking at the original EMEC. I would guess just from looking at it that it wasn't designed for rental customers. But then when you start adding in things like the PAL loader as well, I would say that they've probably designed the EMEC, thought this is bloody great, and then gone, can we make a hopper that'll work with this? And then when they've come up with a nice simple design of a hopper, they've gone, hang on, this would actually be quite good for rental customers. Why don't we start marketing it towards rental customers as well? You know, it's an Eclipse marker. It is that basically practically bomb-proof Eclipse stuff. I would say that Eclipse stuff's basically the tournament equivalent of Tipman gear for reliability. And they've done that and just gone, yeah, this is bloody awesome. We can sell this to rental customers as well. That's just the feeling that I kind of get from like, looking at it, playing with it, and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah,
I think that fair comments. I mean, I'd challenge anybody to use it and actually go, that's not worth 200 quid.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
I think they'd be flappy paddle head if they didn't think that, or did think.
They'd probably imagine they had a dog, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
You stroke away, bud. You stroke away.
I think that's going to be your next T-shirt, Dex.
Yeah. You know what?
You should see my dog.
Right then.
Comments on your change subject here.
Give us a sec. Right.
Yeah.
And we'll go for just a T-shirt, shall we? Start designing. just talk. I'll just be a moment.
Oh dear. I've got to the stage now that when I go down for walk-ons now, I tend to take my pump, an EMEC, and then I'll take an electro with me. And the only two guns I play with is my pump and my EMEC. And
I used to take two guns. Now I just take my sniper to every event. Now I don't even take a spare.
yeah,
Did you guys ever play outside of the UK pump?
I wish.
Yeah, I would love to
I
go
have-
somewhere else and do.
I have played once outside of the UK. I played in Germany, 2016 EBG Malvin
Oh
Cup.
yeah, okay, yeah. We
And
played
that's-
one of the most fun pump events I've ever played was the Camp Masters, and it was probably mid to late 90s. And we played against. I played with Wayne Monkman and Ross Gill and Clive Gill, and Wayne and Clive own Bush. So yeah, it was great. 5-man pump, and I think we shot 2 boxes of paint between us for the entire weekend.
If that was late 90s, I'd have been less than 10.
9. It's crazy. It was good. It was really good.
I'm good because the one event I really wanted to go to doesn't exist no more, but I would have loved to went to Living Legends.
Yeah.
Dexter knows this. I've said that if I ever won the lottery, I would fill a plane full of the biggest nutters in the UK.
Is Living Legends stopped?
It hasn't stopped. It's changed site. Yeah.
Oh right. Okay. Right.
I'm talking the slapstick.
Right.
Yeah.
Just like with a slap.
Albert.
Again,
Albert just wants to pound that slapstick.
Like you with your dog.
Yeah.
Dex will lend you his dog.
No. My dog.
I've got a dog.
Is yours real?
Yeah, of course you are.
Can your dog make it on camera and not get the show banned?
To be fair, if I remember rightly, Albert's dog isn't really a dog; it's a rat.
I'm just hoping it's not called Gravy.
I mean, oh dear.
Oh no. What's going on?
It's not a dog.
Yeah, tell you about that.
Lost your dog too, Albert?
No, just look for something.
He's looking for the dog. It's that small. He's lost it under a coffee table or under the skating board. Or oh dear.
That should be about right.
It should fit in the palm of your hand.
Shit.
It's got that bit.
Even Albert's pretending he's got a dog now.
There is no pretending.
There he is!
In a dress.
That's not a dog, Albert.
Yes, it is.
Oh, it's tiny.
It's a rat.
I know I haven't got me. I know I haven't got me glasses.
That's
on.
something you find when you've gone out drinking.
Oh, it's got such a pretty little dress.
This is a flash forward for superheroes, isn't it? Gassy.
I'm starting to get wrong.
Oh dear.
Right, now I need to change the text.
I like that.
Oh dear.
Do we have an index whilst you're designing decks?
What's that?
Oh, what were you doing? What, man?
But see, that's a real dog. What does it say on top?
Was it the end? Yeah, well, like I was saying, it's like I always wanted to play the slapstick.
Yeah.
And I've said to Dexter, what I wanted to do was I wanted to get all the biggest nutters I could find in the UK, go over there and show the Americans how to do it properly.
Definitely.
You will find them in the Paintball Dickhead closed Facebook.
Right.
With its sister group. Where's my dog?
Yeah, ask Richie about England versus Scotland. He's never laughed so much seeing me doing that.
Yeah, Albert came away from the slapstick at Scotland v England looking like he had some kind of strange disease. He'd been hit that much.
Funnily enough, I was sitting in the Chinese with a short sleeve shirt on, and this guy started moving away from me because you could see all the marks on my arms. I think she thought I had ringworm or something.
Pick a pot. Which one do you want?
Light green.
This one?
What?
Yeah.
You keep designing your t-shirt.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that one.
Oh,
oh yeah.
Was it the Manchester 3D printing stands?
Yeah.
That's brilliant. That was
very awesome.
It's great, isn't it? And what I really like, I don't know how well you guys can see that, but there's like a little drawer bit.
Yeah? Oh, right, yeah.
That's where you can keep your imaginary dog.
Kids, come here. Come back.
What actually goes in there is this part here. So if you have a larger tank, that just slots over.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Nice.
It's great.
It's really well thought out.
It's brilliant, isn't it? So, and I still can't get my head around how 3D printing works. So,
yeah,
you know, it's like it's like dealing with Merlin, because everything I ever ask for, he goes, "Yeah, all right." And just makes. It's great. Now, if you pick the other pot, you would have got this one,
right.
which is one of the earlier prototypes.
Oh, yeah.
So, but I believe the goal is to get a mask stand and a gun stand to both fit in one pot.
That would be impressive.
Yeah.
It's speaking of the mask stand.
Oh no! See, that's something no one's thought of, and it's a brilliant idea. Because how many times does your mask fall in the dirt or falls off the table,
or your dog knocks it over? Yeah.
Well, you know, it's actually quite common. I remember when I first started playing, especially when I started wearing JTs.
Quite common if you have a dog.
Because when I first started playing, I started wearing JTs. You know, just putting them down on the bench. And there was one of the guys that was a little bit more experienced than me at the time, came over and turned my mask upside down so that my JT, my flex bottoms wouldn't warp by being just left on a bench. If you can support them on something like one of the mask stands and keep them off the deck, you can still display them the right way up and all that sort of stuff, and keep them nice and clean and tidy.
I mean,
stop them from lining
yeah,
wet
there's
or
obviously
dirt.
the player. There's obviously the player use, but I think as well, you know, trade shows, in stores, all that kind of stuff. It's there's some good possibilities.
All they ever do is just take it out of the box and put it on top.
Yeah. You also made, I don't think I've posted this anywhere yet. A little.
GoPro.
Barrels.
Yeah.
Has he? Well, are they available to the public yet, Nick?
Yes, they are. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
Do you know what sort of price range they are?
I know that I think they are 20 quid or under.
See, now that's actually really good, because I think obviously there is other barrel mounts on the market specifically made for paintball.
Yeah.
And some of them that you can tell that they are basically just rebranded.
Are on the market, or are the stands on the market?
The loops, the barrel mounts.
Not yet. This is.
Right.
I got this Friday.
Yeah.
And I used it yesterday.
Right.
But I know the stands are about 20 quid.
Yeah, I mean, that's acceptable for a stand.
Yeah.
But they're talking about the barrel mounts.
Yeah.
There is other people doing them that are on the market, but they're all quite expensive. If he prices them right, he'll do. I think you could do very, very well with them, because there's loads of people that are using cameras on when they're playing now.
I think the only question is going to be the durability of it.
Yeah.
You know, what I really like about Liam, who runs it, is he takes all the feedback on board. You know, if I say, actually, that needs to be a bit different for this reason, it's never like, no, you're wrong, or I disagree. Just go, he genuinely appreciates the feedback.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't matter if it's from me or whoever. If it's, I think that he's got a really good opportunity to make a good name for himself.
Yeah. Well, so far he seems to be doing that very well.
I think so. I mean, bizarrely, I'd never have thought it. The world of marker stands seems quite bitchy.
Yes.
We don't talk about
that. Yeah.
In the nicest possible way.
Marker standoff.
Marker standoff.
Pretty much. You gotta watch what you say.
Yeah.
Other marker stands are available. I just have no experience with any of them.
Yeah. I mean, I must admit, I'm a bit of a fan of the classic aluminium bod stand.
Yeah. I mean, that's the name I've heard. I couldn't tell you who Bod is.
Bod was Andy Sable's right-hand man.
Yeah.
Oh. Let me see if I can find a picture from Singapore of a marker stand that will blow your mind.
Best marker stand, a knife, cardboard box.
Yeah.
It was.
Well, I mean, they are the cheap ones, yeah.
It was a cardboard box, Albert.
Gassy's saying you'll need a massive stand for your Swede, Colin.
Yes.
I want to share the contents of your screen. All right. No,
just ignoring that comment, are you?
No. If you look, I've responded to him saying that a double strap's when you put two straps end to end, isn't it? I mean, to be fair, when we went and got suits for hire for my wedding, we had to go and get a special box out of the back for the top hat because it was that big. No one had ever worn it before.
Well, going back, Dex, to your question about, I think mechanical would assist with people coming back. Was out in Singapore in March. for a bit of a whirlwind, clinic here, go to the next place, clinic there type of deal. On the weekend I was in Singapore, on the Saturday, they had their Div 4 playing.
Yeah.
And everybody played mechanical on a full-size sub-air field. The only requirement was you had to play mechanical.
Yeah.
So the reality was half the people used rental guns. The other half had cockers. They had, shocker CVOs, whatever, right? Everybody had a top-of-the-range mask. Everybody had a top-of-the-range tank, top-of-the-range barrel kit, top-of-the-range loader. Everybody.
Yeah.
The only thing that they couldn't do was fire artificially fast.
Yeah.
In the sense of, there was no random because it was pure mech. The reason they've structured it that way was because they wanted them to get the familiarity and the safety and the, appreciation of how to play the game.
Yeah.
And, just chatting to the organizers, and I said, how do you know when somebody is ready to go from this Div 4 mechanical to Div 3 electronic?
Yeah.
And as soon as they're comfortable spilling paint on the floor. That's how they measured it. Because there's a phase that they all start with where, every ball that's being loaded in is precious.
Yeah.
And it's, I'm not dropping one. And if I drop one, I pick it up and put it straight back in.
Yeah.
And they were literally like, as soon as they get to the just dump it in because I'm fighting. And I don't care. I just want to go and I want more firepower.
Yeah.
They were ready. And it was amazing.
That's a really good idea, that.
But, the reality was the only thing they needed to upgrade was their marker. Because they've got the barrel, they've got the loader, they've got the mask, they've got, the air tank, etc. And it seemed quite a sustainable way of doing it. The other really weird thing was a lot of the teams that played on that Saturday were previously competitive Nerf teams.
Right.
And I didn't realize that there was such a thing as competitive Nerf.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there's proper Nerf
really
leagues.
Big in Singapore.
Yeah.
Really big.
But it's not just Singapore. You've got, I think it's in Australia. It's in some parts of America. Obviously, in some parts of Asia.
Their Nerf guns to shoot 300-400 feet per second.
Yeah.
And I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
I mean,
that sounds fun.
Doesn't it?
That sounds awesome.
Well, this is it. I don't know. Obviously, I've got no experience with Singapore or how they play paintball or anything. But I've got a little bit of an idea about Australia, because obviously Australia has very, very strict gun laws. In Australia, it seems to be Nerf and gel blasters are their only options for combat sports, unless basically airsoft is non-existent. And paintball is
in Australia. I mean, Australia. I think the 1st of July. I think the law changes in New South Wales,
right,
where the age that you can play paintball drops from 18 to 12.
See, that'll be great.
Huge, huge for them. That's night and day difference.
Yeah,
and we kind of complain how we're going to grow paintball, blah blah blah. How we're going to get more rental players to go from this to that. We have it so easy compared to so many other countries. So, I mean, probably your minds will be as blown as mine was. I coached a girl on poison ivy from Iran. And because she was female, she was not allowed to participate at her paintball field. So she had to turn up in her goggles.
Yeah.
And never took them off.
Yeah.
So that nobody knew.
But you see, that's kind of thrown back to what I was talking about earlier on. Once you have your mask on, no one knows who you are. And that's why I find the idea of that, the fact that she isn't allowed to participate because she is a girl, I find it ridiculous, because once she had a mask on, if nobody knew that she was a girl, what difference does that make?
None at all.
Yeah. If they can't tell the difference when she's got a mask on, why should there be any difference once she takes the mask off?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
Crazy, isn't it?
But the idea that if she's had a great time, and obviously it's the idea that she has to do that is abysmal. But the idea that she's actually turned up and if she's had a great time, that's great. Yeah. That's all I want from people for paintball is I want people to have a good time. I've always said, the moment I stop enjoying paintball, I'm gone. I'm not going to keep doing this if I don't have a love for it, if I don't enjoy it, because there's no point. If you're not enjoying something, don't do it.
I agree. I agree.
Yeah. I want people to enjoy it as much as I do.
Down, boy.
You're never going to live that down, Dad.
I've been trying to make a T-shirt. Well, I literally all I have to do is basically publish it now. But if I want to, but I'm not sure if I'm quite happy with it, and I'm struggling to get the writing right. But I can't share screen because it's on Firefox that I've got my account set up for making T-shirts. And if I share screen, it'll go over to Google. So,
is it wearable at the Grand Central Classic?
It would be if I was to make it and buy it and wear it.
I'm willing to wear it. Just saying.
Well, I'll tell you what. If I can get the writing sorted out, then the options are.
Yeah, happy to facilitate.
Well, at the minute,
Is it a captain's meeting T-shirt?
No, it's not. But I could design and put one of those on my store as well. I'm trying to find my mouse. Where's my mouse? Right. All it is at the minute.
Stick with dogs. Yeah.
It's just a nice orange T-shirt with "I swear I was petting the dog" on it.
Oh dear. What dog?
Can you clarify what's with all this Monday live stream, Tuesday live stream, Wednesday live stream stuff? I'm all over the place.
Well, the whole this sort of stream came about because we talked about it, and I thought, yeah, let's try it. So I think the first,
it's just confused me.
Yeah, well, this one wasn't really kind of set in stone. It was just something that it seems like it is taken off a bit. So we thought we'd kind of do it a bit more. It's kind of fun. Whereas the Wednesday night stream, I planned on keeping going, but the Tuesday night, the Monday night, Tuesday night one, whichever you want to call it, it was
only a Tuesday night because you had visitors on Monday last week.
Is that the real reason? Spill the beans, Cole. So,
no, it wasn't me that had met. Did I have visitors on Monday?
Yeah, it was you. It was I volunteered that we could run it without you.
It wasn't the dog that had visitors, was it? It must have been you.
No, I can't remember.
It was supposed to be on a Monday, but we ended up doing it on Tuesday instead.
Yeah.
Mondays.
Was it not that Chan couldn't make it as well? So we decided that we'd push it back so that we could make the fourth. We could actually be
Yeah. Cassie just said he was walking the dog last week.
Don't blame Chan.
My dog has been on stream before.
Oh, you sure?
Now.
I even have photos of my dog. I have not imagined it. Here he is right now.
So Wednesday's staying as the
lower live stream, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, that one still be happening. I couldn't obviously do last week because I had some came up. This week it should be on though, so yeah, that'll still be happening. But that one's going to stay just me. And I think the idea with this one is that we want to just kind of get people together, have conversations, have a bit of a laugh.
I like it.
Yeah. But yeah, and it's of course you're our first sort of you're our first proper guest that we've had on.
Yeah.
And thank you. I've got to say thank you very much for actually joining me tonight and having a good conversation with me.
No, absolute pleasure. No, I think it's good. I mean, I think there's a lot of people out there putting good content out that
definitely there's some
most people don't actually ever hear about. I mean, there was a guy whose YouTube I shared on I think today actually on my Facebook, Elliot Rodriguez.
Yeah.
And he's like I was amazed he's got, under 100 subscribers, but the content is great. It's just pure fun and his energy of enjoying paintball.
Yeah.
Which is, everything it should be in my eyes.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. I think that's what we need to see more of. We need, and I've talked about this before, we need to show more people like doing what we love and showing all the different aspects of it, be it tournament, scenario, milsim, anything like that. Because if people actually see what we're doing and see, how awesome it is to us, then they're maybe more inclined to actually want to come and join in.
Do you know roughly what percentage of your viewers are traditional paintballers, mag-fed, etc.?
Not really. I know that I do have a few mag-fed players that watches, and just because I know quite a few of the people that actually come up in my feed when I'm doing my live streams.
Right.
So I know that like Tinks plays normal, like traditional paintball. There's obviously a Gassy plays traditional style paintball.
Yep.
Tony plays a bit of both. He plays a bit of mag-fed, and he also plays. I think he's starting to actually play a bit more traditional ball as well.
Cool.
You've got like Nightmare who plays a bit of both as well. So, but it's only because I kind of recognize these guys' names that I know that. Other than that, I don't really have much idea.
I just wondered, as in, I don't ever feel you pitch your content at a specific audience. I just feel like this is what's going on that I know about, and I love that because
we have tried, but he always keeps doctoring my posts.
I try and remain neutral. It's because the thing is, I don't particularly care if tournament does amazing if it means that MagFed is going to fail, and I don't want the vice versa. I don't want MagFed to succeed massively if it means that tournament's going to fail. I want paintball to do well across the board.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think it's tough, isn't it? It's like trying to think how best to kind of explain this. It's one of those where I've played MagFed once for half a day when I was at PPK, and it was pure luck because standing at the counter getting lunch, and one of the MagFed guys came across and he went, "Oh, I'm really getting shot to beep. Can I hire one of your upgrade guns?" And they went, "I'm really sorry, they're all out." I said, "Well, you can shoot my shocker." And they went, "What are you going to use?" And I said, "Hopefully your gun."
Yeah.
Went, "Oh, okay."
Yeah.
So I played, like the rest of the afternoon as a mag fedder against round ballers, which I loved. It was wicked.
Yeah.
So, and like the first time I shot left-handed, you almost heard all of the other mag fedders go, "Oh,
yeah.
What's he doing? Black magic."
I was like, wait till you see me walk through that puddle there.
So, and get your gear dirty.
It was fantastic. They were like, "Oh." And then like if you ran and shot, it was like, "Whoa."
Mind
blown. It was like, I was like, let's just take it easy then. So, but then like conversely, I was absolutely crap at putting in another mag.
Yeah.
I put in a mag back to front. What a stupid design that is.
Yeah. Well, you see, that's one of the beauties when it comes to some of like the damn mags and stuff. You can put them in either way, and they work.
Wouldn't even know, and it's kind of like, and those guns are so heavy.
Yeah.
Like ridiculous.
Yeah.
So, but it was, and this is what really interests me. Before that day, I had no opinion or no kind of justified opinion of MagFed.
Yeah.
I have a whole new respect.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to my MagFed crew, Spartan Actual. So, gave me a patch, which I love.
Yeah.
So, and that alone is enough to actually be like, "Oh, this is actually such a cool component of the community."
Yeah.
that I've been very kind of sheltered from.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think enough people try it.
No,
these MagFed sites should be, I love the try MagFed for a day type of thing.
Yeah.
Do I want to get shot by a first strike round in the head? No, but I'll try MagFed.
There's no MagFed at District 23. Sorry, there's no first strike at District 23.
Yeah,
that to me is like a very easy entry to trying MagFed.
Oh yeah.
Oh, the 9 lads I took absolutely loved it. Went down the next day to BZ and all bought their own masks. Brilliant. That was down to me. Well, that was down to me. What? Oh, we'll get the gun. No, you don't want to buy guns. You don't want to buy this. You want to buy the best mask you can for your money. And I went down with them, and they all bought their own masks.
Well, if you look at, I think it was a Mike from Tech PB video years ago where he did how to get into paintball and what to do, and he says, it's basically exactly what you've just said there. Go and buy a mask first, and then once you've got a mask, you go buy a tank or you go buy a hopper, and then once you've got the tank, you've got the mask and you've got the hopper or the tank, you go buy the opposite one. So if you've got the tank, you buy the hopper. If you've got the hopper, you buy the tank. And you slowly build your gear up, and then you go buy the gun. The gun should be basically the last thing that you buy, because up until that, you can just borrow a rental, and it'll help you build your skills just using a rental with the better tank and with the better hopper and having that good quality mask.
First 2 things I bought was a mask, which was a JT Flex 8 head shield, and a pair of gloves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You see,
and I've still got that mask.
Pussy, Colin. Why did you buy those 2 things?
That was what I wanted.
Yeah. Both gloves is one of the first 2 things.
Yeah, the next
gloves. Have you seen the size of my hands?
And then the next day, he probably went out and bought about 15 guns.
Yeah. But that's it. I mean, I thoroughly believe in the idea of buy the mask first and then start getting all the bits of gear and buy the gun last. I think the first thing I bought was an ion. So,
I mean, that was a game changer back then.
Definitely.
Yeah.
In terms of cost of getting kitted out, that was the EMEC.
That was I've been playing paintball for years, but it was always on other people's loaned gear or renting. The Ion was the first gun I actually physically owned myself.
Yeah.
The Ion was an incredible sort of. It was the first really successful, cheap electro.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
It wasn't the first, but it was the first successful one.
Yeah. Well,
agreed.
Yeah. What else did you have that was the same sort of price range? Because the Ion is, to be honest, the only sort of electro that I can think of that was around. I think I paid
other than electro framed spiders. That's about it.
Nikki's like, what did he say?
I'm getting very good at lip reading Chan now. Just talk shit about the Ion, didn't he?
No, electro.
See, he said no then.
Electro frame spiders.
Gussie says that the Ion single-handedly destroyed the second-hand marker market.
Yeah, he's about right.
Yeah. Now what?
Cheap.
But when an Ion comes up for sale now, what is it? 50 quid?
If that's no.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, the second-hand marker market's a weird one as well, because back in the day, I remember everybody had pride in what they owned, and you didn't buy a marker to just sell it in 6 months, a year, even 2 or 3 years. I don't.
Are you listening, Gussie? Are you listening?
You needn't say now, Colin.
Yeah, but I don't sell them. I just buy another one.
That's it. Colin just hoards them.
way to be to protect the industry, Cole. Good man. So, but it's like, Westwood Cockers, for example, 1,500 quid, something like that back in the day.
Yeah. Yeah, so I mean,
never sold
good
them.
quality cockers. Yeah, they sold for a fortune.
Angel LCDs. People didn't buy them just to sell them the next month or year, even.
Yeah.
That was, what you had.
Yeah.
You just got used. It's weird. I don't know when it changed or how it changed or what caused the change, but what made it I guess also a contributing factor was new players coming into the sport would buy big. It wasn't unheard of when I was working at Eclipse for someone to come in and buy, the latest Nexus cocker.
Yeah.
Straight off the shelf and drop 1,200 quid or whatever it was.
I think what killed it was Die and Planet bringing out a gun every year, and the fanboys all had to have the latest one. So the gun might only be 6 months old, but because there's the DM9 out now, and I've only got the DM8, I have to have the DM9 or the Planet Eclipse with the Egos and the 8s and the 9s and the 10s.
Yeah,
every year they used to bring a gun out, wasn't it?
Yeah, them bringing the gun out was part of the problem. Them sponsoring teams with the latest gun compounded the problem because it made the rest of the population feel they had to have it.
Yeah, they've got to try and keep up with the pros.
Yeah, I mean, the reality is you go down to a tennis court and Pete Sampras is there playing. You give that guy a frying pan, he can return the ball.
Yeah.
True.
He get every time, right? He might not hit aces with it, but he'll get that ball back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's it's just such a
Tony's just hit
that
that's just hit a nail on the head. He says I think now it's all about who looks the best and who has the best gear. Worst part about a walk-on day.
Well, I don't think that's really a new thing. I do agree with it, and I do think that's something that I don't like about. It's something that I don't particularly like about paintball. The idea of people dressing.
I've got to check my dog.
That's it. The stream is over. Bye. I'm taking my ball and I'm going home.
Go take your dog for a walk.
But, I think the idea of people dressing up and it's the who's the best, who looks the best, and all that sort of stuff isn't anything new. I mean, what was it like maybe it's the late 2000s or the late noughties, the early 10s, where you had stuff like everyone wanted to look ag, and now you've got like Magfed players that all want to look operator and stuff. Yeah, that's it, John. Yeah. Now it's like you've got Magfed players that want to look operator, and you've still got tournament players that want to look cool. And if you look at the vast majority of tournament players, they've all got very similar styles. It was something that I think was Dom from Combat Zone. I was walking off. I'd been hit at one point. I was walking away. Everyone else was gathered, and I think I was like rearranging my pants or something, or rearranging my knee pads. And he says, "I've noticed something with like the longer a player has been in paintball, the baggier the pants are." And it's I hadn't really thought about it, but when you actually compare, when I started playing and they wearing my baggy JTs to the guys going out and playing now, they're all wearing virtually skinny jeans.
Skinny jeans, yeah.
Yeah. And say, I don't know how these guys are running around and sliding around in pants that you can barely move in.
Yeah.
You're just jealous.
What, the fact that they're running about?
Yeah.
I don't run anymore. I trundle now.
Yeah.
I just keep rolling.
Colin likes to make me run, don't you, Colin?
Yeah.
Yes. But Colin's definitely had to do a fair bit of his own running as well.
I had to do even more running because someone ran off with mine.
Yeah.
Nick looks confused.
I actually won it. Yeah, you were saying I wasn't doing that well. I actually won that game, didn't I, Colin?
Yeah.
I actually shot you that game.
Yeah. We did a 1v1 at speed, Nick.
Okay.
we put the guns down at the start flags.
Yeah.
Started in the centre of the field. So you've got to run from the centre to your gun, pick your gun up before you can start shooting. But someone decided to run off with my gun before.
Yeah.
What a great move. What a great move.
I just wish I'd done what I had intended on doing and run round and nick Albert's gun.
Yeah, your puppies are getting there before me anyhow.
I really think that this is the year that we change paintball.
I hope so.
There's so much good happening for the sport. You know, and Dex, you have to forgive me. I have no recollection of this, you know, anything you've done prior to this year. I don't know. I can't even remember.
That's perfectly fine.
I can't even remember how I stumbled across your live stream, but I'm so pleased I did because it's great. It's just what paintball needs, and it's in essence it's everything that we used to get at the actual event that we can now get from the comfort of our own sofas.
Yeah.
You see, I like the idea of that, but I want to kind of build a community around and all talk and bounce ideas off each other and stuff. But I also kind of weigh at just what you've said there. You know, the idea of being able to get it on your sofa. It's both great and it's also terrible.
It is. Yeah, you're right. It is.
It's the fact that we're not actually getting together at events and socializing anymore like that, or you know, like having teams where they go out for nights out together.
That happening again, I think. Because you're creating a community here that talk. They're not typing, they're talking.
Yeah.
That's the key thing. That's one of the lost, apart from Chan. Sorry, Chan. This is what we used to do because there was no Facebook, social media, whatever, right? I mean, I used to wait for that letter to come through the door from the tournament organizers of these are the tournament dates for the year.
Yeah.
And then, you know, the team captain would ring everyone that night and be on the phone for like 4 hours. Hey, Rich. And that's the way it was. Now it's just, you know, a 10-second message on Facebook. Yeah. And everyone knows.
Yeah. Or, you know, that's it. Message on Facebook, a quick text message or something. You don't have to actually speak to anybody anymore, really.
You don't.
And you only have to write that message once because you can send it to everyone all in one go.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. It's zero effort, isn't it?
Yeah. It's not even...
Or not write a message at all and just invite them to the event.
Yeah. Precisely. We'll translate for Nick.
I'm just not.
See ya.
Yeah, translate for Nick. You don't even have to write anything. You just invite them to the event on Facebook.
Perfect. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
That's one thing I miss is the forums. I think we got a lot of this in the forums, and when the forums died, the likes of UK Scenario and all them, I think that's where we lost a lot of the community as well.
I would totally agree with that. There was a big push to get everyone over onto Facebook.
Yeah, and on the
forums have been replaced.
On scenario side, you lost the banter for like the faction build-ups towards games.
Yeah.
Big start. I think the last game that I actually saw some proper banter is the Superheroes game. I've seen a bit, and the Cartel game. Yeah. Last year at BZ Scotch Corner.
Yeah. Do you think that's the reason why we're not experiencing banter is because? Do you think people are getting more easily offended? And because people are just writing stuff down and there's not that community sort of spirit anymore, when people write stuff down and they just send a message and people pick it up wrong, so people just go, well, I'm not going to do it.
I really have to check what I put because what I put is a joke. A lot of people will be offended.
However, Albert, you write, you dickhead, it always comes across wrong, doesn't it?
Well... That's the thing, though. This is exactly it. It's you're getting people now that, especially with the rise of social media, that get offended on behalf of other people. And when somebody messages me, and in fact, I think it was my mum actually picked up on Richie Wong. Basically, nearly every time I post something on Facebook, Richie Wong posts a comment about me being ginger, and it's like I don't care. Richie's doing it as a laugh, but you could imagine somebody else picking that up and going, why is he having a go at him for being ginger?
Yeah, he's strawberry blonde.
There is no such thing as strawberry blonde. There is just ginger and not ginger. But yeah, it's
bald and not bald. There's no in between. Slightly bald.
I mean, I think you're absolutely right about the banter. If you look at the elite division of CPPS, to completely pull it out of the context that you've come from scenario world into tournament world, is very sterile in the sense of there's a couple of controversial teams. Jaguars are a bit controversial because they, they're edgy. 1 for 1 are a bit controversial because they're edgy. You look at the other end of the spectrum and the Lucky 15s. I wouldn't want to be stuck in a lift with those guys, is the reality, because you're waiting for someone to fart rather than crack a joke.
Yeah.
It's awful. So, talented paintball players, no doubt.
Yeah.
Sense of humor? Low. Yeah. And I mean, Harrogate Wraiths, for example, if you guys have ever met them, you don't need me to say another word. They could literally have a party in a cardboard box.
Yeah.
It sounds a bit like Nest.
Yeah, I mean, literally, they bring.
Well, they just have
everywhere.
Party
and
bus.
It's just insane. But I mean, I genuinely don't think the elite division is going to be ready for the energy that they bring.
Yeah.
Regardless of skill, regardless of experience, they're there because it's fun.
Yeah.
The fact that they win as well makes it more fun and makes them louder.
Yeah. See, that's the sort of teams that I like.
Oh, you'd get on well with them.
Yeah.
So
it's
they are not suitable guests for this show.
No, they sound like birthday guests of this show.
To be perfectly honest, I don't think I'm a suitable host for this show. but here I am.
But I think it's very interesting though, because I think the characters within the sport are dwindling.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely.
And it's partially, I think you're right, it is partially because people get more easily offended. It's partially because they're wrong to get offended. They're just, people aren't as, they're too soft now, in all honesty.
Yeah.
You can't, one of the best things about going to Australia to play paintball is if you're being a dick, you get called a dick. Yeah. And then that line's drawn, and then you still have a beer with them.
Yeah.
You know exactly where you stand at all times.
That's where it used to be like over here.
Exactly.
But there's a couple of YouTubers that I watch, and one of them, he's a Scottish guy, and it's the Scottish and the Aussies. It's been talked about how I can't say the word because frankly it's not family friendly, but it's see you next Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Oh, I thought this was a Monday show.
And it's basically like the context. It's like you say that word in front of a lot of people and they get massively offended, but yet there is like the Aussies and the Scots use it as like another way of saying hello.
It's a term of endearment.
Yeah, that's it. It's it's a massively offensive
punctuation.
Yeah, it's punctuation, but also it can be like it's basically a term of endearment. It's along the same sort of lines again. Yeah, right, you dickhead. And it's all stuff like context. Yeah. It's the context of what things are said and why they're said and all that sort of stuff. And it's but again, like we're talking about the Scottish YouTuber that I watch. He's saying about people like having a laugh and so not being offended and all that sort of stuff. And if somebody calls you a dickhead, that's the end of it. You then go and have a beer with them later on. Well, it's like he says like having fights with people, actual punch ups, and then literally going and having a beer with them afterwards. it's just like it's done and dealt with. Yeah, it's done and dealt with at the end of the fight, and then you crack on with your lives. There's no the massive hatred of people afterwards. It's right, we've dealt with it. To the way that they did it, basically it's like, who was the bigger man or who won the fight? Right, well, you're the one that won that situation then. And I'm not saying that we should be brawling in the streets or anything like that, but it's the idea that, once it was dealt with, it was dealt with. There was no harboring resentment afterwards.
Yeah.
Is that why the Nest van rocks at events?
No. Totally different reason why it rocks.
Well, the Vangler bus is coming.
Well, they say what happens in the van stays in the van.
Yeah.
You guys,
what happens on tour stays on tour.
What is Nest? Is that a faction?
That is Dex's team. Well, not Dex's team. It's the team that Dex and Chan are part of.
Scenario team.
Yeah.
Yes, Nest.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
Or as I used to call it, the Nissan employed scenario team.
No.
Yeah. Fun. Yeah. We had about 4 players who were all working at Nissan at the time.
So who's actually on that team?
Well, there's still players. Yeah.
Dexley's dog.
Yeah.
May as well be.
There's that. To be honest, the regular players. There's me, Chan, Rich Robson, and Richie Wong. They were the core players that are kind of left. But we do still have a couple of other guys that come and go and stuff. There's like Andy Routledge. I suppose there's Dom and Trevor, who are kind of they're sort of new recruits. So they're not really in the team, but they're welcome to come and play with you and all that sort of stuff. Like a recruitment sort of thing.
Are they
I thought Dom was a member of your team. I thought you'd asked Dom.
I think actually, to be honest, I think we did, yeah. So hey, I just turn up and play.
Dom tuned in. Sorry for the bad news.
Oh no, I'm not saying they're not part of the team. If they've been made part of the team, then they're more than welcome. I like them both. They're cracking guys. It's a father and son duo.
Is that important that Dex forgot he was part of the team?
I like it.
That's not fair. I wasn't sure because I wasn't sure what the exact situation was.
Keep digging there. Keep digging.
That's God. I'm making out that I'm a monster. But there's I suppose then we've got some players that have kind of retired, but I would still consider them to be part of the team. Like there was Graham, John, Paul, Smarty. I mean, Smarty's going to play airsoft now. I suppose Graham's going to play airsoft now, so them two are kind of like dead to us.
Do you not think John had the worst name for a paintballer?
Yes, John
Wiper.
John Wiper?
Yeah.
It was he used to have his name on the back of his jersey as well, so you'd be screaming "wipe out" across the field, and people are going, "What are you calling me?" But yeah, there is a lot of guys that have been part of the team, and I don't really think Nest isn't one where they if you don't play, we'll kick you off the team. It's you're always part of the team.
Play, we forget your name, but you're still on.
I haven't forgotten anyone's name.
It's whether they're part of the team or not.
Can we just go back to the dog?
We'll get to the dog. Don't you worry.
But yeah, this is.
Well, we will, but Dex, folks, he's not there.
But yeah, as far as I'm concerned, no player is ever, and they would have to do something pretty bad for to be kicked out of the team, and they would have to be literally a case of they were kicked out of the team to no longer be part of the team. They're my mates; they'll always be part of the team.
I like that. It's the
yes, Chan. Actually, what's that? There's me, Rich, and Richie that are still the original founding members. So bye, Chan.
Oh.
Actually, I can't do that. He makes awesome stuff for us.
I was actually around when it was Newcastle Knights before he even became Nest.
Yes, but you weren't part of the original 5.
All right, now girls, put your handbags away.
Well, yeah, so there is a lot of people that are kind of still around, but they don't really play anymore, if that makes sense. So there's just kind of like 4 core players that actually kind of go to events primarily. Yeah.
Colin just trying to pull as many funny faces as he can.
Yeah, trying to alleviate the situation.
I'm just hoping that Nikki doesn't ask me any questions about the Warriors.
Yeah, what's happening with the Warriors, Colin?
Yes,
I wasn't going to.
Let's move on to the Warriors.
Oh yeah, no, let's move on to the Warriors.
Not a lot, unfortunately. Yeah, we're struggling at the minute. We are struggling as a team at the minute.
Team of 1, haven't they, Colin? You?
Not necessarily. We did have a presence at Malvincle this year, and a presence at Speed.
Yeah, 1
person. And when I say I mean 1 person.
And you had what? All right, so you'll have 1 person at D-Day as well, didn't you?
Yeah, we're going to have 1 person at D-Day as well, which is Tony, who was the team captain before I started. Yeah.
Yeah, the original team captain.
Yeah.
When the Warriors had a team.
Well, we still have a team. We've got
just like going on BMX bikes, don't you? Yeah.
No, there's a lot going on in the background with quite a few of the members, and it's sort of we are struggling as a team to get decent numbers to 2 games.
It's a shame. Because at one time the Scottish Warriors were like a real force to be reckoned with within scenario paintball.
No, if you were the opposing side of the Warriors, you knew you had a fight in your hands.
Yeah.
A lot of people just gave up and walked off because they knew it was going to be painful.
Yeah.
Because I've been on the receiving end of it. I know what it was like. I remember at Chocolate Factory, basically, me and a first timer were trying to hold them off Chocolate Island.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't work.
Was it Charlie and the Chocolate Factory when they changed the Warriors' side but didn't tell either side, so they were getting shot off both sides in the middle of the bridge? They moved them. Yeah, they moved them over to one side.
Yeah.
But didn't tell the other. But we got wind that the Warriors had moved, but they hadn't told the other side, and they put them in the middle of the bridge, so they were getting absolutely annihilated off both sides. That was hell on.
Yeah. The thing is, what do you do if you're being mullered by the side that you're fighting for? Do you shoot back? Do you defend yourself and shoot the guys that you're supposed to be fighting for?
Tough call.
I can't really say nothing about the Warriors because the team I played for used to be along the same lines. We used to be able to walk on the field and take the place over, and we've turned from 35 members to 3.
Yeah. But this is exactly why
these used to just own.
Yeah. But it's like, this is why the Renegade Rebels were another good team as well, and they've kind of just fizzled out. But it's like topics like getting together and talking about stuff like this. This is why I think this is kind of important. Why are these guys all phasing away? And losing players over time is kind of to be expected, but you would expect those players to also be replaced by other players. Why have these teams just phased out and all around about the same sort of time?
I think a lot of it had to do with the politics that happened at a certain point in scenario paintball. That is the single reason that the Renegade Rebels have left, pretty much, because there was next to nobody was behind them. Yeah. So rumors were spread about them that were quite malicious, which basically killed any support for them apart from people who actually knew the people properly. Yeah. I know
there was a lot of rumors spread about a lot of people.
Yeah, and I think that that was single-handedly what killed the Rebels.
Are they making a comeback though?
They are starting to make a comeback. Yeah, they were at Mayhem last year. I know. I'm not sure what other games they've been to, but they have. The Renegade Rebel Iron Cross is coming back to paintball in the UK, which is lovely to see.
I just saw the cross on a couple of posts, different people posting up, and I clicked the badge straight away, and I was like, oh, it's the Renegade Rebels.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I still talk to Rob quite regularly, who Nicky might know more as Papa Bear.
Papa Bear, yeah.
Yeah.
I think you've lost Nicky. He doesn't know what you're on about.
A while ago. Yeah, a while ago. I was with you all the way up to the end of the Scottish Warriors book. Renegade Rebels. That's like imaginary dog territory for me.
They were quite a large scenario team, but
yeah, they were a force to be reckoned with. They were great at sort of just causing chaos, really.
Yeah.
From recent years, is this or like
this
10 years ago?
This was sort of last 5 years, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I never really did any scenario games. I did D-Day in the States, the big invasion of Normandy one.
Yeah.
That's
something I'd love to do.
That's 4,000 players.
Yeah, BZAB went over and did that, but that was before I started.
4,000 players. Albert, my finest moment, 2 defining moments that game. We're in the landing craft, and this was when I was playing for Nexus, so it must have been 2005-ish. Well, these kids were like, oh, we're here with Nicky T. And I was like, shut the F up. Got to shoot all these Germans in the woods up there. Pull yourself together. And this landing craft door just went boom, and they just ran. It was awesome. Yeah. It was phenomenal. The other moment that I will never forget is Leds and I got a kid in a hyperball tube and rolled him down a hill.
Oh my God.
Just like, the bruises he must have got from the pack hitting his back were just insane. But we got that hyperball tube down the hill.
Did you just kind of like run away afterwards?
Well, it was a mix. No, it was a mix of like we were laughing, yet trying to remain behind the hyperball tube so that we couldn't get shot whilst it was going downhill, getting faster. So it was like 2 hamsters on the outside being tied to 1 hamster on the inside of the ball. And all of us were just like, it was just a mess.
Yeah.
Great fun.
Like the Roadrunner.
It was great. So, yeah, scenario paintball has presented me with a lot of fun memories.
Yeah.
So,
well,
in the limited exposure I've had.
Yeah. Well, I mean, even when I did play tournament paintball, it was always great fun, and I have got some good memories from it. But it was always even though I didn't play it at like a particularly high level, it was always quite serious. Whereas woods and playing in the woods, playing scenarios and stuff, it always has just been for a laugh. It's just been for to have fun. It doesn't if you lose, you don't feel like you've lost out on anything major. You've still had a great day.
I think it's actually more significant than maybe you guys realise. So with the Harrogate Wraiths this year, played all of last year in Div 1 in CPPS. Mm-hmm. The highest finish was 2nd. And that was with, some additional players that came on the squad, blah, blah, blah. They were inconsistent throughout the year. Mm-hmm. This year, they amalgamated with some other players, 2 teams in Div 1, and they just won last Sunday, not yesterday, but the prior week, to get the promotion to Elite. Now, they've done less. They've totally changed their training this year away from Sup Air and into the woods. Away from, we've got to learn layout for the next 3 weekends and into let's learn to play paintball. And I think, one of the challenges we have is the fact that most tournament players don't know how to play paintball. They know how to play layouts.
Yeah.
And most of them are bad at it.
Yeah.
In reality.
It's a mathematical way of playing rather than actually.
Well, I mean, by definition, they measure their success. Did you win or did you lose?
Yeah.
One team wins each division. So the vast majority deem themselves as bad. In a scenario game, you either win or you lose.
Mm.
You know, so you're either first or second.
Yeah.
You're never 10th in a scenario game.
Yeah.
But you also have, you know, everybody can play their part. And I think this is where the crossover needs to come and is coming, because, you know, yes, classic rules help.
Yeah.
Yes, 5-man helps compared to 3-man. Yes, 7-man helps compared to 5-man, etc.
Yeah.
If the fact of the matter is, at least to my mind, 5-man is elitist, regardless of if it's in the woods, regardless if it's 5-man walk-on is elitist. Because the 6th guy, who's probably a better teammate than most of the other 5, never gets a look in. Because he's either not fast, can't afford it, whatever, right? Whatever the reasoning is. 10-man forces you to be all-inclusive.
Yeah.
You know, fathers can play with sons. Your mate from the pub who's never played competitive paintball can actually contribute.
That's me, because I've did exactly the opposite. I've never played a tournament game. I've always played scenario, and the Grand Central will be my first proper tournament game.
Really?
Yeah.
Fantastic. Oh, that's awesome. You never played a single tournament. You're going to love it. And hopefully, I mean, the measure of success to my mind is if you turn around after that event and you go, I wish I'd done this 20 years ago, that means I've done my job right. If you hate it and you go, that's not for me, I've not done my job right.
Yeah.
That's how I see it. You know, and same applies to every single player who goes there. It's got to be, this is like a birthday party for me. All my mates are going to be there. Everybody's got to have fun. I don't care who brings the biggest present type of deal. So it doesn't matter who wins.
Yeah.
It really doesn't. No, couldn't give a damn who wins.
Yeah.
Just want everyone to have fun.
Yeah. I think that's a great thing.
And want to do it again.
It's the best attitude to have.
I think it's the
genuinely.
Yeah. Because, you know, there's nothing other than bragging rights. You know, and even it's the simple things, I think, that there's the growing up as a kid playing paintball, you learn respect.
Yeah.
If you were the gobby kid, you were going to get shot a lot.
Yeah.
Was the reality. So you chose, or you learned rather, pretty quick not to be the gobby kid.
Yeah.
But you also learn, if you were the gobby kid, you got to back that shit up. So you learn to play better.
Yeah.
You know, I can't count the number of times where I had literally bloody knuckles from, I'm going to shoot you. And they were like, I'm going to shoot you. And it was a proper standoff. Nobody threw their toys out the pram.
Yeah.
You just took it because you knew that if you didn't take it, people would just laugh.
Yeah.
You know, and it was a school of hard knocks. And, you know, not saying I was a hard nut. I was a smart one. I ain't going to run and get tired. I'm going to be bloody accurate and shoot you.
Yeah.
So, you know, but it's kind of what's weird is, as a parent, I don't tolerate my kids getting participation trophies. That's bullshit.
Yeah.
That can go in the bin. Get out there and
I'm totally against that as well. Like,
that's it. There's no point in participation trophies. You're just teaching a kid that mediocre is what they should be.
Yeah, it's okay not to try.
Yeah. It's all right to try and fail. You know what I mean? As long as you tried.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like all this.
I mean,
no winners and no losers, and we all get medals. And
I heard a quote the other day which really resonated, and it was, "Oh, no problem if you aim high and miss. The only time I have a problem is if you aim low and hit." And you know, that's how I try and educate my two of, you know, today be better than you were yesterday.
Yeah.
We're not going for perfect, but always aim high.
Yeah. Well, I'd say it's the sort of the Rome wasn't built in a day sort of thing. It's everything's it's going into all the cliches. Every journey starts with a single step and all that sort of stuff.
It does. Yeah.
It's you can't you're not gonna go out for a run and run 50 mile in one go.
Not unless you get really lost.
Well, yeah. Even then, I
don't think there's an invisible dog.
Yeah.
Fenton.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, it's kind of. I think we have a huge issue though, where we actually have a generation of players, and I can only speak for the tournament players because I'm not experienced enough with the scenario players. At least tournament-wise, we have a lost generation where the current generation don't know how to play.
Yeah.
No disrespect to anyone, because those who win are just better than those who don't win.
Yeah.
But they don't know how to play paintball. As in play what's in front of them.
Yeah.
And I think in a very kind of pleasant way, scenario players have that advantage because they're so used to, holy crap, he's in the helicopter, he's behind the barrels, he's,
The player can be anywhere.
Oh, yeah. There's no set bunkers or whatever, right?
We're saying no scenario site is exactly the same as.
No. I mean, let alone end to end, right?
Yeah, you can't plant trees in identical places.
No. Well, if you take the speed weekend sort of tournament field, there's a couple of bunkers have got trees growing up through the middle of them on the paintball field, and it gives you a bit of cover to the top that the rest of the bunkers don't have. It's things like that. You can't account for that if you've only ever experienced things like inflatable fields.
I mean, there's a few real kind of standout things that have happened this year that kind of hit home in the sense of where most paintballers are going wrong.
Yeah.
So I took Thomas, my eldest, who's 9, to play paintball for the first time in February.
Yeah.
That kid has never played paintball. Sure, he's shot, a Valken spring-loaded pump gun in the back garden at a tree.
Yeah.
And not at his brother by some miracle. But never actually played paintball.
Yeah.
First, he's only played once, this one time. He's watched me play. He's watched webcast after webcast with me at home. Kid bunkers 4 guys. In the first
brilliant.
I said to him the night before, I said, you nervous, bud? And he went, no. And I went, what do you mean no? Because, as a 12-year-old kid, I was bricking it.
Yeah.
As a 20-year-old, I was bricking it. And he went, I'm just going to shoot everyone. And I was like, I really hope that works out for you, bud, but it doesn't always.
Yeah.
And he was just like, I got this, Dad. And I was like, oh, okay. And
respect.
Speaking to him afterwards, it was really interesting because I said, what made you kind of go and do that? After each time he bunkered someone. And one time one game he bunkered like 2-3 guys. One of his mates was tying his shoe and he shot him in the arse. It was a very proud parenting moment.
Yeah.
But his reply was, I just thought it'd be more fun, Dad, to go and attack them.
Yeah.
And I was like, how brilliantly pure a response that is.
Yeah.
That's everything paintball should be.
Yes. Yeah.
Fun.
It is always more fun when you're attacking.
100%.
I mean, I had people running away from me at North v South with my pump.
That's nothing to do with your skill, Cole. They're just dead. They're like, Jesus, this guy's after us.
Chan was pretty sorry, but his laptops died.
Yeah, I know Chan went, but
I couldn't hear him anyway. That guy never said a word to me. That guy.
How rude.
So
we had that at Colin's birthday party, didn't we? When the marshal came over and said it was this terrifying sound Chad with his auto cooker and me and Jigsaw pumps. I've never heard a sound like it. It's terrifying.
Yeah. That's it. I mean, if you're in a room or something with a single pump, you've just got that clack, 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 clack sort of thing. But when you've got multiple people doing it across the game zone with like Chan or rain and paint from a Carney or whatever it was, it does sound a bit intimidating.
Even just having the ability to play pump is so huge.
Mm-hmm.
It's like,
I tell everybody, play a few games with pump. It will step the game up because you're not relying on being able to rinse paint out.
No, exactly. Ramping is the participation trophy, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that's the reality here.
Yeah,
it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy.
Yeah, I mean, every Electro I have is set, or as far as I know, is set to 10 semi max, because I can't see the point in shooting any faster than that anyway.
Well, you can with your pump anyhow.
Yeah.
Well, I've been accused of ramping, haven't I, Albert?
Yes, I know.
Yes, Albert.
Never gonna live that down.
By Albert.
Yeah, the first year of speed, I heard Albert shouting across the field, "There's no ramping, there's no ramping," and then the next thing I hear is Gassy shouting across, "That's Colin with his pump."
Yeah, I'm not having that. That's Colin with his pump, you puff, was his exact words.
You sure he said puff?
I mean, to be granted, I was running around with a max loader with my pump.
Yeah, max loader with pump.
That's it. I don't think there's many players that would go out with a max loader on a pump.
Here's a question for you then. What's the worst piece of paintball kit you've bought? Worst.
The first one that springs to mind for me was a set of Smart Parts playing pants that were probably from
Race playing pants, were they?
What's that?
Were they Race? RASE?
I don't know. They were just, you could get I think they came in a couple of different colours, but I had the blue jersey and I got the blue playing pants to go as well. But
with the crosshair logo on.
Yeah, they had the crosshair logo on, but they were mostly just like the black sort of standard material, the breathable material with like blue piping on them. And I was playing it in my local field, slid into a bunker and literally ripped them from about the ankle all the way up to the arse crack. And I think I'd only worn them about 3 or 4 times. And luckily I did get them through. They get cheaper through the site owner, but it was still a set of playing pants that just
sound breezy.
Yeah. I hadn't had to play the rest of the day with them like that.
I think the single worst purchase I've ever done, and it was nothing to do with the actual product that I bought. It was because it was my first ever big game, which was North v South about 10 years ago. And I went and bought 3 boxes of Proto tournament paint.
Oh, I used to love that stuff.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. But I was trying to put it through a Tipman Sierra 1 with a hammerhead barrel.
Yeah.
Okay.
I turned 3 boxes of paint into soup.
That would definitely qualify as the most inappropriate purchase.
Yeah. As I say, it was nothing to do with the actual product itself. It was just because I was naive.
Mine wasn't that long ago. A pair of HK Army trousers.
Yeah.
Ooh. Yeah. I've returned them twice already.
Yeah.
First time I wore them, the integrated belt broke. The second time, the stitching came away, and I've now give up taking it back. And my wife has had to restitch it for me because it literally came away from the pockets, the seams. But I've also had the exact same trousers a friend of mine has, and he's had them the same length of time as me, and his has fallen to bits as well. And we only had them like 6 months.
Yeah.
I actually went out and bought myself an old pair of JTs.
Well, that's it. You cannot beat the old JTs. I mean, I've been playing. I've had a pair of. When I first started playing paintball, I got a set of JT playing pants, and I've still got them in the loft, but they are far too small to fit us now because I've grown significantly since I started playing. And I got a second-hand pair of JTs probably about 7 years ago, maybe 8 years ago, and I started wearing those, and for every game basically since, I've worn those, and they gave up last weekend's speed, and one of the knees just the massive knee pads on them, the knee pad just tore away from them, and I'm devastated because they were like they were my favorite playing pants. You just couldn't beat them, but they've lasted through like 7 years of games, and that was when I got them.
I think it's great when equipment lasts that long.
It's not for a manufacturer, though, to be fair. It's great for the player, but it's not great for the manufacturer. That's the problem. It's when the manufacturers end, they want to make stuff that is going to last long enough, but also is going to get them another sale.
I mean, I feel quite torn, actually, in the sense of, yeah, I get what you're saying about the manufacturers, but as a player, I also don't care.
Yeah.
Because... I want to get value for money. I mean, weirdly, I've never been exposed to as much of what's available as I am now.
Yeah.
And I did a video today that had an exalt pack in it. That thing's bulletproof, right? If you just wanted to buy one pack and that lasts you 20 years, that's a pack.
Funny enough, I was watching that just before this started.
So was I. I've still got it on here that I'm planning on finishing once the stream ends.
I mean, it's that pack is really well built. Would I use it though as a tournament player? Probably not, because the actual construction of the pack is too rigid. You wouldn't get a bounce off it compared to. I mean, I'm sure Albert remembers the old Reds packs.
Oh yeah.
All neoprene. Everything bounced off them, right? So it's very it's fascinating for me how products are made and the manufacturers don't pay enough attention to how applicable it is in these three scenarios.
Yeah.
It's very one-dimensional. This is the pack we're making. If you want to use it, use it. If you don't want to use it, don't.
Yeah.
And then not saying every manufacturer takes this stance, but a lot do. A lot won't make a dedicated scenario pack that's high quality. Like Bunker Kings have never done that, for argument's sake, right?
No.
Valken will, because they have a lower unit cost, etc. Right? So and it's and weirdly, before. I think the first walk-on I played in probably about 5 years was the 27th of December last year. And I had a whole new appreciation for packs because I had to put the pots back in.
Yeah.
Rather than just throw. And as crazy as it sounds, right? There's so much that we take for granted that it scares me. I filmed a video yesterday literally on opening bags of paint.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
And, and I was kind of like, I had that moment where I thought, wow, do I really need to do this? And it probably took about a second to go, you know what, you actually do. Because, the video is very much, it's a component within a video.
Yeah.
But it was very much along the lines of, if you're filling 4 pots, you're going to use all 500 balls. Open the bag however you want, fill the pots. If you just need 20 balls to top off a pot or your loader, you probably don't want to rip it all the way open. You want to make it resealable or easy to reseal.
That's it. It's not a case of rip it all open and tip everything into the box.
But nobody ever says that to anyone. We just assume people know.
True.
It's crazy. There's a whole.
I confuse people because I rip the bags open in the middle rather than on the corner.
Yeah.
You're renegade. You're wild card.
Yeah, but Colin doesn't really do the whole just use a little bit of paint.
No.
No.
But talking to packs though, it's Speed Weekend. Richie, another one of the guys from Nest. I think he had a Bunker King pack on. I think it was one of the newest strapless packs.
Yeah,
and they're saying about the idea of having to put pods back in. Richie couldn't even get his pods out of his pack. It was that tight. It actually took me and Chan to take a pod out of his pack for him. He had to go and buy other pods and then use the elastic straps on them for the rest of the game.
There's a definite difference. I'm just looking at these pods here. You look at width of these, there's definite difference.
Oh yeah.
I think I'd struggle to get the base pots into that exalt pack and out of.
Yeah.
I think these fat boy pots would fly in and out. So you got to try these things. Though.
Yeah.
That's the other.
But I mean, I used to run lock lids all the time.
Oof.
No matter what, I used to run lock lids.
I would say.
Yeah. The minute I went to a strapless pack,
expensive.
The minute I went to a strapless pack, I was like, no, I can't do this, because I would go and grab one pot and catch the little catch with my finger on the pot next to it, and just dump it all on the floor out of the next pot.
When I first started getting into paintball kind of properly, I got an Empire, I think they were Empire Fast Packs. And they were actually quite a good pack for the idea of, as he took the pods out, they got smaller and smaller until there was nothing there. And they were just basically wearing a belt. But if you tried using those, or using one of them with lock lids, the moment you did anything with a sharp impact, your pods opened and you lost your paint. If you are running really hard, you'd lose pods, which on a tournament field isn't really an issue, because you can kind of go back for them at the end of the game, or you send a pod runner in to get them up in between games or something like that. But if it's in the woods and you don't know that you've dropped a pod, that's the paint and the pod gone, and
the tenner sitting on the floor, isn't it?
Yeah, potentially, yeah. Go on, Colin.
I'm just waving at John. He's going.
Right.
Bye, John.
It's say good night. Next time round. See you later, John. Thank you very much for joining me. But to be honest, guys, I think I'm probably going to have to head off here as well, because I've got work in the morning. And
well, you can't go. It's your show.
I know, but I'm also in charge of the big red button. So.
Oh no, not this again! I could never hang up last time.
Right, Albert.
Isn't Albert the big red button?
Yeah. Well, no, a big purple button. Once the show ends, once I end the broadcast, I'll help you hang up, Albert.
No, it was Colin's laughing last time. Remember? How do you turn this bloody thing off?
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yes.
So, anyway, I guess. Well, screw you all. I'm going.
Can we have one last attempt to get the dog on camera?
No, he's asleep. He'll be asleep in bed.
Oh.
So, but I just want to say, thank you very much, guys. Has anybody got any final words that they'd like to say before we do come to an end?
No, thank you very much, though, to Nikki. It's been really good having you here.
Yes, yeah.
Pleasure.
Yes,
yeah.
It's been an absolute hoot.
I'll say a very quick thank you for having me on here. Open invite to anyone, by the way. If I can help you with your paintball, just ask. It really is that simple. Whether it's, what do you think of this? Whether it's event, equipment, whatever. Just ask. See me at an event and you want help, don't be the person who just thinks, I wish I'd asked. Just come over. So, very, very open. If you don't want to chat at an event, drop me a message. That's fine. Dex does it all the time. So,
to be fair, I do. Yeah.
So, and also, not just playing wise, content creators, if you are taking videos, you're doing photos at events, whatever. Let's build this community into something better than it was yesterday, and just keep that going every day.
Yeah. I can vouch for Nicky being a fantastically lovely bloke in person as well as on stream.
Yeah.
And he makes a great postman as well. Well, you did bring 2 of my markers back from the States for me.
Yeah, true. Yeah, very, very, very true.
Oh, what you been buying now, Colin?
This was a while ago. This was a while
ago, wasn't it? That was a couple of years ago.
All right.
I like
that was the
more tired.
Yeah, that was the 5-man Woods Ball tournament up at BZ Scotch Corner.
Yeah, wasn't it a Viking?
It was 2 Excaliburs.
Excaliburs, that's right.
You love them bloody things.
They were bloody heavy, Albert, I'll tell you that.
But I've got to admit, those things do shoot amazing.
Definitely. But no, seriously, Dex, thank you for having us on.
And thank you very much for coming on.
Any of you, let me know. And I'm going to hang up now before I get caught in this with Albert.
Right.
See you all later.
See you later. Thanks very much. Right, guys. So, I suppose we'll end this year as well. So, thank you very much, everyone, for joining. Hello there, Craig. Sorry, but we are just about to end the show. So, thank you very much for joining, guys. It's much appreciated, as always. Thank you very much, everyone, for watching.
Hi, Craig.
And unfortunately, we shall see you later. See you on Wednesday night. Bye.
Bye, Craig.
Say bye-bye, everyone. Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Time for Tubby. Bye-bye.